now a morning person. Like if I wake up past 7 a.m., I feel like I'm sleeping in now, which is crazy. So
Same.
isn't it? Well, you're an actor. You definitely don't wake up early.
What have you heard? Yes. No, you're right. You're right.
But when you said Andrew was an actor, by the way, really quick, just going over to you, makes sense. Your personality, you're an actor for sure, in a great way.
God.
I
Okay.
mean that in a good way.
I do. I thank you. I take it in a good way too.
For sure.
You're a choreographer as well?
I am,
That's
yeah. So I've always been in the arts. I used to love acting as a kid. I was in forensics and did like debate and stuff like that. I was in the theater club, all that stuff.
Oh, good
So
for
yeah,
you.
we're on the same
see?
wavelength.
So my career has hope at this point. There's still a path for me.
I love it. Always.
Melanie, where'd you go to school? You're a lifelong Milwaukeean, right?
I am. So I going way back, I'm from the Brown Deer area. So Brown Deer is where I graduated from high school. Went to UW Milwaukee, studied broadcast journalism. And funny enough, I actually stayed in Milwaukee because that's how obsessed I was with the Bucks as a kid. I'm not kidding. I've been a lifelong Bucks fan. I danced for them starting at the age of 12. So I'm 31 now, and I've been with them since I was 12. And just kind of worked my way up. And I literally stayed in Milwaukee because I was so dedicated to the organization. And I was like, I want to keep dancing for them as an adult.
So you had the purple and green outfits, right?
I
Back
did.
in the day?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got a little mini human cheerleader outfit that's purple and green, which is
Yeah.
so funny to think about now. Yeah.
So does Bob, actually. Bob's
I
got one
bet he
too.
does.
Yeah.
I
Different
bet.
show, different show.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry, I don't know. Another station.
I love
Melanie,
it.
as a dancer for that long, for nearly 20 years now, do you remember dance routines from being a kid?
Oh, yes.
Like
Oh, yeah.
you hear that three,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
certain songs, do
Oh,
you
yeah.
just all of a sudden
Put
start
on a
doing
song,
the arms and the
5,
legs?
6, 7, 8, we just go. Oh yeah, you'd be surprised.
Like what would be one of the? I'm sorry. What would be one of the early songs?
There
like the
are
first
so
ones?
many. Well, I'm going to tell you this much.
Yeah.
We had a song, or we had a dance to Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Some Def Leppard.
And
Are you
now, I don't really associate it so much with like innocent dancing because I understand where you typically would hear that kind of song. But at the time, I didn't know any. You know, you don't know
you
anybody.
just
It's got a
who's
good
dancing.
beat, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a sweet song. No,
Exactly. It is a sweet song.
It's a sweet song.
See?
Sure.
Get it?
Oh, that's awesome.
How
Love it.
fun. I'm going to be watching the dancers now with just even more of a fun eye, knowing that you
Right.
might be bringing some callbacks
For
to those
sure,
old
for
routines.
sure.
And I also love that the dance team evolved into co-ed.
I do too. And that was not an easy transition. I don't know if any of you were if you like were engaged with the social media remarks, comments, etc. when we decided to go from all women to co-ed. People they
have-
wanted to hang us out. It was just awful. It was awful. I mean, they were so upset with the Bucks. I'm like, it's okay, everybody. We're evolving with the times. No big deal.
I love Milwaukee. Milwaukee doesn't always love change, and that's okay.
And that's okay. But
You're going to be embracing some change. So now, after
Absolutely.
waking up early, you're going to be spending your lunchtime on a 101.7 The Truth. And what is the name of your show?
So I'm really excited because it is called Nothing But the Truth. There's a little anxiety though because I mean, so I can't fib. Got it. All right. So 100% the truth all day, every day. Got it.
You can embellish a little bit.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
keep it to the truth. And what will be special about your show? Like you mentioned, maybe a little more pop culture.
Yeah. I think what will be special about it, it's almost like people are taking their lunch breaks with us. You know, I want to look at it like people are finding that we're having relatable conversation. I'm a 31-year-old millennial, but it doesn't mean that the problems that I face or the things that my friends talk to me about or, the circumstances that I see aren't relatable to other audiences, no matter what their age is, what bracket they may put themselves in, from a cultural standpoint. I think that there are so many topics that are so relatable on different levels. It's like a lasagna. I like to think of every topic as a lasagna. There's so many layers to it,
Well,
I love lasagna. So
I let lasagna.
And who doesn't
it
love
all came
food?
together
Right.
in my head. Yeah, when
You
she
see?
said
You
that, I was like,
understand?
tell me lasagna. Yeah.
Isn't it?
bringing those ingredients together. Well,
That's right.
and I work at Milwaukee PBS, and there's a show called Black Nouveau. It's been on for
Yes.
decades.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes I wish the name wasn't Black Nouveau because it sort of makes me feel like, well, should I be watching it? And can
Oh
I
my
watch
gosh.
it? But it's
Yes.
so great, and it addresses issues, and
Yeah.
it addresses culture, and it is a very inclusive. Anyone can watch it and enjoy it, and maybe learn something, and be
Yeah.
turned on to something in our own city. I feel like The Truth is the same way. So anytime I turn on
1,000,000%.
101.7 The Truth, it's like, oh, there's my friend Melanie, and she's given her top 5 list of
Yeah.
places you should go grab a burrito.
Right,
it's
right.
and you can always learn anything about anyone if you just stop to get to know them better and find out if they dance to Def Leppard. Like music is a great connector. So
Oh my gosh. And thank you for saying that. something I say this a lot. It's called Black Talk Radio. I don't feel like it's only for a Black audience. I really, really don't. So I appreciate you saying that. The inclusivity piece is so important. It's really valuable. And I think it's important for everyone to feel seen, feel heard, and feel represented. And again, the representation, it doesn't have to literally look like you, just some type of representation. Again, feeling seen, giving a voice to the voiceless.
And connecting us in Milwaukee is only going to help make our city better as we find solutions to some of the
Absolutely.
tougher things and we celebrate each other. So Monday, 11 a.m., what is your first show going to be about? Have you planned it already?
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The amount of notes, the amount of topics that I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what the very first show should be though, because like I have some where I'm like, I feel like we could just start off right away with like, relationships advice. Like for example, a lot of my friends right now are struggling with dating apps, which I know it's a tale as old as time, aka 20 years, because that's how long dating apps have been around.
universal. Yeah.
I've been around that long.
That's pretty good.
But I will say the narrative around it is so interesting in a post-pandemic world, because during COVID, it was all you really had as an option. And now that it's over, people are like, well, people are socially awkward now. So, it's a whole thing. So I think I may just hit them right out the gate with something like real heavy with dating,
Not even heavy. It's just it is a universal. Like we all
It's
remember.
universal.
Like if you've been in a relationship for a while, you still remember the awkward.
Oh, my gosh.
Like socially awkward is not just a pandemic thing.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not.
Yeah, you don't.
Good to
Dating. I can't even imagine. I wouldn't. For all the tea in China, would I want to be dating or young or
awful.
anything besides who I am right now? I just don't get it. Thank God I didn't have a smartphone when I was a kid. When I was younger, I would have made so many bad decisions.
Yeah, Mel, is texting dating? There's a question for your show. I mean, if
gosh.
you're going back and forth,
Yeah.
do the people today, the young people today, do they consider, well, I'm in a relationship? Does that count as dating?
It does.
Oh,
I hate to
really?
tell you,
Here we
yeah.
go.
And let me take it a
See?
step further.
What could go wrong?
A lot of guys don't even ask for your phone number. They ask you for your social media handle. So it's like not even, it's bad.
Wow.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pass,
God.
hard pass.
Hard pass.
I remember years ago there was a young woman I was working with, and she was having what she called a BB mance, which was she was texting with somebody on her BlackBerry.
Oh, yeah.
And she had a flirt going on with some guy, and she said a BB mance, and I was like, that is lunacy. That is crazy. How many texts have you sent that you needed to explain after the fact? Imagine trying to build a meaningful relationship out of
The
that.
tone
Yeah.
of that. We'll find out more with Melanie Ricks, 11 a.m.
12 p.m.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, it's okay.
I'm in a different time
You're
zone.
thinking,
Right,
you're
there
thinking
it is.
mountain.
At noon on Monday, Melanie Ricks, Nothing But the Truth
Yes.
on 101.7
Thank
The
you so
Truth.
much for having me. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mel.
Nice to meet you.
And
Nice to meet
now,
you.
time for some news about your money and your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Unfortunately, I'm here to report that the Dow is down, the S&P 500 is down, and the NASDAQ is down. The Dow is down 37 to 32,394. The S&P 500 down 6 to 3971, and the NASDAQ down 52 to 1116. And for a deeper dive on the markets, you can listen to the Annex Wealth Management SWOT podcast, Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. Listen wherever you find your favorite podcasts. We're going to go with the news next.
Are you waiting for a miracle to feel financially secure in retirement? In a recent study, over 1/3 of millionaires predicted their ability to feel financially secure in retirement is going to, quote, take a miracle. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe a plan, not a miracle, will help increase your retirement confidence. Annex Wealth Management listens. Then our team of experts gets to work using leading-edge technology to build a comprehensive plan that covers investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. We stress test it, run it through countless variables. Then, and only then, we present a framework for a financial plan tailored to your goals in retirement. And unlike our competitors, Annex doesn't have any products to push. No hidden fees or commissions. There's too much of that out there already. We're a fee-only fiduciary, required to act in your best interest at all times. More planning, less miracles. Build confidence in your future with Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
Carjackings, theft, shootings. Crime in Milwaukee is soaring. Criminals are being put back on the streets by liberal judges like Janet Protasewicz, who care more about woke politics than law and order. Too often, liberal judge Janet Protasewicz has refused to put convicted felons behind bars, only for them to re-offend. And Judge Janet says she has no regrets, while our communities suffer consequences. There's only one candidate in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race that puts the law before politics and victims over criminals. That's constitutional conservative Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly is endorsed by law enforcement and can be trusted to restore law and order. We can't afford to let woke liberal judge Janet Protasewicz on our highest court. It's time to take back our streets, restore law and order, and vote conservative Dan Kelly for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Fair Courts America paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee. FairCourtsAmerica.org.
Hey, moms, dads, and grandparents, it's spring break. With no school this week, you need an outing. Treat your kids and grandkids to the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable, family-friendly restaurant and entertainment center. The Mineshaft has a $2 million game room with over 140 interactive games, including the most popular like Typhoon, Avengers, Ticket Ring games, Coin Pushers, and the easiest games for your little ones. Your kids will love the Mineshaft, especially your teenagers. The kids menu starts at just $3.99 every day, and the pizza is great. With no school this week, take your kids for hours of safe and super affordable fun to the Mineshaft in their huge game room. Grandparents, take your grandkids to the Mineshaft this week. They'll love you more than ever. The Mineshaft is in beautiful downtown Hartford. Game room opens at 12 noon. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:31. I'm Sandy Max. The president calls for change.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Clarity on cleaning chemicals.
And I'm Bob Brainerd. The Brew Crew gears up for opening day.
And I'm Mike Spaulding. A pretty smooth ride home on most areas. You might be tapping your brakes a bit on 4145, both north and southbound, right near Mayfair Road. Doesn't look like any accidents or anything like that. Just some normal heavy traffic as we move into the bulk of the afternoon drive. Also heading southbound on 43, right south of about Brown Deer Road. You'll be tapping your brakes as well up through about Capitol Drive, just due to some normal heavy traffic volumes. As far as travel times go outside of those areas, things are moving smoothly. You can be our eyes on the roads, report incidents to the WTMJ Hull MazdaMilwaukee.com traffic tip line. Our number here, 414-238-9329. Visit Hull Mazda during Mazda's Season of Inspiration. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spaulding, WTMJ.
And your WTMJ weather, increasing clouds tonight, a low 27. And tomorrow morning, expect snow, but no major accumulation. Mostly cloudy, breezy, high 36 tomorrow. It is 42 degrees in Milwaukee at 3:33. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Biden once again calling for lawmakers to pass gun control legislation after the mass shooting that left 6 people, including 3 children, dead at a Christian school in Nashville yesterday. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
President Biden said the Nashville school shooting Monday, which left 3 children and 3 adults dead, is a family's worst nightmare. The president speaking of his own personal experience, reminding an audience in Durham, North Carolina, that he lost his infant daughter to a car accident and his adult son, Bo, to cancer.
But I tell you, there's nothing like losing a child, particularly the more senseless it is, the more devastating the impact on you. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and it's senseless. You know, those children should all be with us still.
Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
New documents showing that the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources pushed back against the development of the Community Within the Corridor apartment building in Milwaukee, concerned that they didn't complete the necessary testing to fully clear the building of TCE vapor. TMJ4's Bruce Harrison has more.
Public records show in January, the DNR sent an email to multiple parties, including the developer, saying it strongly recommends completing all testing before any occupancy. According to those records, the developer, Community Within the Corridor Limited Partnership, is working with a company called Casing & Associates. Casing & Associates is conducting the testing for toxic chemicals, scheduled for completion in August. Additional records show Casing told the DNR it knew about their concerns, but delaying move-in, set for February and March, for extended testing would burden the development economically.
The Milwaukee Health Department says it plans on meeting with residents to provide next steps later today.
The Marcus Performing Arts Center preparing for a 7-show Broadway season beginning this fall.
Major Attaway gave the Marcus Center crowd a preview of Aladdin the musical. He plays Genie in the production coming to Milwaukee this fall.
One of the best written roles for someone who looks and sounds like me. But
Broadway Across America says the 7-show slate is one of the best ever for the city.
3 Wisconsin premieres coming, 7 big Broadway titles. We have a show that's playing for a couple of weeks, and it's really just one of the best seasons we've ever been able to put together.
Moulin Rouge, Mamma Mia, Funny Girl, and To Kill a Mockingbird. Other highlights, Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin is in the Final Four. No, not that one. Bob Brainerd explains in sports next.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
Matt had just moved into his first apartment and needed furniture to fill it, but he didn't have a big credit line. So I told him about St. Vincent de Paul. There's always a nice selection of gently used furniture there, and sometimes you can find some really cool retro pieces. And the best part is, it's always super affordable. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores for first-time furniture buyers or anyone looking for great deals on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. Unparalleled service from beginning to end. That's the Pella Promise. And it all starts with a free consultation right in the comfort of your own home. Hi, it's Gina Della from Pella. The free consultation includes a virtual tour of your actual house on a tablet. Watch how Pella can help change the beauty and curb appeal of your home by virtually comparing different options and configurations. You'll see what they'd look like if they were installed in your home. Visit our showrooms in Brookfield, Madison, or Green Bay, or online at PellaWI.com.
Is inflation busting or benefiting your financial plan? Hi, it's Dan Needles, retired sportscaster. Retiring during these uncertain times has many of us feeling a bit concerned. Between inflation, rising interest rates, and market volatility, there's a lot that's happening that could derail anyone's financial life. So let's talk about it. Join me on Thursday, April 27th at the Milwaukee Marriott West for a panel discussion with Jeff Kowal and the Kowal Investment Group advisors as we examine how today's inflation rate could bust or benefit your retirement plan. The fiduciary advisors at Kowal Investment Group are uniquely qualified to help those with at least $750,000 in investable assets. If you're not already working with one of their advisors, like I am, you won't want to miss this discussion. This is a free event, but be sure to register early as seats are limited. For additional details and to reserve your seat, visit thekowalway.com today. That's Kowal, thekowalway.com. I hope to see you there.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
7 games remain for the Bucks, with Indiana next on the docket tomorrow night. Last night, a shot in the arm from Chris Middleton, who made up for the absence of Giannis and Drew Holiday by gouging the Pistons for a season-high 34.
I think he's played well since he's been back, and we've obviously been diligent how we ramped him up, but defensively, I think he's doing some good things. His pace and some of the pick and rolls, his ability, he's getting to the free throw line more this year. Maybe there's a few little things, but in a lot of ways, I think he's better.
That's head coach Bud. In Vegas tonight, the Badgers will try to extend their NIT run with a semifinal matchup against North Texas. Tyler Wall, keenly aware that Wisconsin remains the lone Big Ten team still playing in the postseason.
We're pretty resilient in that we've had a lot of ups and downs throughout the season, and that could have been another turning point where things fell apart. But we took it as an opportunity to come together and get some wins and play some good basketball.
The Brewers closing out fake baseball in Arizona this afternoon, leading the Rockies 4-0, middle of 5. Veteran Luke Voit making the Milwaukee roster yesterday. He'll spend some time at first base and DH, and humbled to have a chance with a brand new ball club.
This baseball world is very humbling, and it's humbled me a lot this year. I appreciate this, and I just worked my butt off to get back to this opportunity, and I feel like I got a lot to give to this team, to baseball, and hopefully I can play as long as I can, and I'm excited to do it, and the blue and yellow.
And the Aaron Rodgers mess is just that, a mess. If you think the Packers are fretting or sweating, think again. GM Brian Gutekunst is just waiting for the Jets to blink first.
Not much going on right now, and
again, I think it has to work for both parties, and I think we're both committed to figuring that out. But it's really kind of in their court right now, so we'll kind of see where it goes.
It has to work. Brian Gutekunst says it has to work. All Packer fans echoing, it has to work. It has to end at some point so they can move on to Jordan Love.
Is that what you expect?
It has to work, Sandy. It has to work. I'm just reciting
He's
what
losing
he said.
it.
Do you think
We're all losing it.
Do you think there will be any more news released this afternoon?
You never know. I mean, something like this, it can literally be breaking news. I mean, it could be this afternoon. It could be a week from today. There is no timetable here. That's the thing. There is no urgency. Now, the draft is coming up in a few weeks. So if there are going to be draft picks available for the Jets to return to Green Bay, then that's your kind of pseudo deadline.
Mm-hmm.
But
that changes the whole negotiation too, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, Andrew. So while that is a deadline, I mean, it really isn't. We heard Gutekunst before say he could come back and play for the Packers. It's happened before where he's disgruntled. I mean, I don't expect that to happen.
Is it a money issue? Is it
No.
Is it a control issue?
We'll discuss more at 4:09 when it's Rogers Watch.
Oh, she's hosing us off.
Because there are many more questions, and we'll take your questions on the Old National Bank Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, in preparation for that 4:09 chat on Rogers Watch. Next, though, what is it like to sing the national anthem in a big sports event? We'll find out next on TMJ.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. We all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Mellifluous.
Gesundheit.
News Radio 620 WTMJ. You are hearing the singing voice of actor Andrew Varela, Wisconsin resident. He's appeared on Broadway, and he is our guest co-host in for John McCure today.
Yes.
Andrew, that's impressive.
Well, yeah. What did you think? What kind of chip did you think?
You showed up.
Come on.
You
Great.
brought it to the field. Where are you singing this?
Oh, there it was. You hear that little blip there. That was at American Family Field. I got a chance to sing for the Brewers game. It was an amazing experience. It's just hearing your voice like that. It's really special. And if you get a chance to do it, it really brings the song home and America and everything. It really just sort of electrifies everything about you when
so
you're singing
you felt
it.
the feels. You didn't just kind of okay.
Oh no!
I'm
Well,
gonna...
if you don't, no. If you honestly, you can never not feel the feels when you're singing the Star Spangled Banner because it's such an important moment. You have everybody's attention. Everybody's standing. Everybody is proud to be American, and you are the one that's leading the worship. So it speaks, and it's amazing.
And everyone is also critiquing you, correct?
Well, I mean, I don't worry about critiques. I usually nail it.
You got to have that confidence. Yeah. Are there nerves like to get the words right or to hit that high note?
I don't have a problem. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I don't get freaked out by that song because I mean it's not an easy song to sing, but it's a lot of fun. I know how to sing it, and I know it's important to get it right. I'm not one of those guys that does a lot of riffing in it. I don't have that talent. My friend Ben Tynai, who who is the voice of the Bucks.
Yes.
The guy he does crazy stuff. He's amazing. But I'm not as talented as that. So what I have to do is I just have to sing it perfectly, and it's a great time. I'm really always pleased to be there, and I always make a point of really just looking around and taking in the moment, because I know how special it is and how singular an experience it can be, and being able to do that. It's a privilege. It really is.
With Brewers opening day coming, we hope to hear you singing an American Family Field again, maybe this season.
That'd be great. I just want to try. I want to try the cherry saws. What is
that?
The
new cherry beer.
Cherry beer.
After the anthem, Andrew.
Yes.
Not before.
It might add something to it. I don't know. We should see it.
Yeah, you want to jazz it up? Go to the line.
Next, we chat with Major Garrett, CBS News chief, Washington correspondent, and catch up on the news next on WTMJ.
Vince Vitrano here from Wisconsin's Morning News, here to tell you for the first time ever, you can download our show wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen, you can listen to us now too. Listen time and time again to your favorite segments like Super Plow, The Legend of Sean Wendt.
So I got on the phone and I called Sean Wendt. I said, Sean, I need some help.
Fake promos. And more.
Why, in all that is holy, is that not? Why isn't that the promo?
That's a great question.
Keep up with us on Wisconsin's Morning News wherever you get your podcasts.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter, an important part of our family. They're kind of like kids sometimes, and like kids, they weren't always listening, but I've got it figured out now. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training, our dogs are better behaved. They don't bark as much. They just listen better. They're happy, confident, obedient. Our house is a better house. Sit Means Sit Dog Training turned it around for us. Let them do the same for you. You can start with a free consultation. The website is sitmeanssitwaukesha.com. Sitmeanssitwaukesha.com.
There goes Dirty Dan Kelly, riding off into the sunset of his pathetic, dishonest campaign. He's badly trailing Judge Janet Protasewicz, so Dan and his friends are trying to pickle your brain with lies, because they don't want you to know the truth, that for all his tough talk on crime, Dan Kelly has never sentenced a single criminal to jail. Not one, partner. Some tough guy. Even a bar association rated him, quote, not qualified. I'm guessing that's because Kelly is corrupt as a termite-infested house. You heard about the Zignego case, right? The one where Kelly recused himself, then took $20,000 from Zignego and his family. Then Kelly unrecused himself so he could judge the case. Boy, if honesty were leather, Dan Kelly couldn't saddle a flea. So don't hitch your wagon to Dirty Dan's rotten ride. He's just too corrupt.
Paid for by Janet for Justice.
It's time to upgrade that old patio furniture with By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. By the Yard furniture features no painting, no rotting, no splinters, no storage, ever. With over 400 items in 9 UV-stabilized colors, By the Yard is proudly made in the Midwest and backed by a 35-year warranty. Explore By the Yard's outdoor furniture collection at their showroom location in Mayfair Mall, Wauwatosa, or visit BuyTheYard.net. That's BuyTheYard.net. Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Or no, actually, we're going to check the traffic first because Mike Spalding is in Debbie Lazica's chair. Mike, how does the traffic look?
It looks a lot better than your forecast does, Sandy, so I'll take a little time on this report. No, actually, things are looking pretty good. The only real slowdowns we're noticing right now is southbound on 43 between Brown Deer Road and downtown. No accidents. It is some road construction near Bender Road that is slowing things down. The left lane there blocked because of it, so you'll be especially slow between about Bender Road and Silver Spring Drive. Speeds do pick up a little bit beyond that point. From Brown Deer Road to downtown Milwaukee, that'll take you about 18 minutes. That is a slowdown of 6. On the eastbound side of 94, full speeds from Highway 16 to downtown. That'll take you 17 minutes. On the westbound side, from downtown out to Highway 16, that is an 18-minute commute there. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Increasing clouds tonight, low 27. Tomorrow, expect some morning snow. Not much of accumulation, but it could come right at the morning drive. Mostly cloudy, breezy, high 36. Thursday weather, light rain, high 47. Friday, scattered thunderstorms, high 54. And the weekend starts Saturday, April 1st, with some light snow and a high 43. 42 degrees right now in Milwaukee. I'm Sandy Max. John Mercure out today. Guest host, actor Andrew Varela in the studio with me. Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik with sports. And joining us now with the latest from Washington, D.C. is CBS News' Major Garrett.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like you've probably been busy with the with some of the latest news.
Sure.
I'm thinking maybe where do you want to start? Either between Vice President Mike Pence or the developments from Nashville.
So the court ruling today is significant for the former vice president. For those who may not be aware, court ruled today that he has to testify, that he cannot claim his role as president of the Senate, vice president on January 6th, to exclude all conversations he ever had with President Trump leading up to January 6th from the questions being posed to him by the special counsel Jack Smith. And Mike Pence could appeal this, but it's clear that the court believes that there is enough reason for the special counsel to pursue that line of questioning, and he can't claim this unique assertion that as I mean, look, when you are the vice president presiding over the Senate, yes, in that particular moment, in that particular space and time, you are technically part of the legislative branch. But in every other aspect of your life as vice president, you're part of the executive branch. And Mike Pence was trying to say, well, all that coverage, conversations with the president leading up to January 6th are covered by that ceremonial role as presiding officer of the Senate. The court said no. That means Pence is going to have to testify.
So
that's a significant development in terms of getting what the special counsel wants to know, which was Trump's state of mind, what he knew, what other conversations did he have about other ways in which to make January 6th possibly more dangerous than it was.
And what do you think the next steps are in this? How fast will this go in light that we're also entering a presidential election cycle?
So it has been suggested by those close to the former vice president he might take this all the way to the Supreme Court. He certainly has that right. He can avail himself that opportunity. He can appeal this ruling. So that might drag it out a bit, but now there is a court judgment on this particular question of law that Pence was suggesting. He can appeal it. If he does, that'll slow it down. But it appears as almost all of the legal rulings regarding Jack Smith, the special counsel, they've all gone the last week against either the president or those like the vice president. I mean, there have been a slew of rulings in the last week, and not a single one of them to the president's advantage, not one. Mark Meadows has to testify. Peter Navarro has to testify. They can't claim and assert executive privilege over these conversations. The president had his attorney, Evan Corcoran, before the bench last Friday on the separate investigation into classified documents because the court ruled that misstatements were made to the court about the handling of that document, and therefore attorney-client privilege no longer existed. I know this all sounds like dense legal minutia, and some of it is, but the most important thing, all of us have been, I think, needlessly distracted about the Manhattan District Attorney. That case is either going to be made or not. What has been far more damaging to the former president's legal interests and his legal future before the federal bench, far more important than anything that may or may not happen in Manhattan, has been this slew of rulings. Every single one of them has gone against the president or his legal representatives.
Interesting times. Interesting times. And what do you expect some of the other reactions to be with this fresh news?
Well, look, the president will, as anyone in our justice system, avail himself of whatever opportunities he has to contest or appeal or delay. And if you know anything about former President Trump's business career, long before he entered the world of politics, he was kind of an expert at that. He was really, really good at using delaying tactics to either get his way or buy down the cost of some settlement. But in these particular matters, he's not going to be able to do that. He may be able to delay, but he cannot, if indictments are brought, dodge culpability before a court of law. He can state his case for sure. But the one thing I would say that has been important about Manhattan and the district attorney there is Trump saying last week falsely, we all should have known it was false, he was going to be arrested on Tuesday. He's intensified this sense of potential martyrdom before the legal system and saying that all prosecutors are looking into him are unjust, or corrupt. The traditional approach to the American judicial system is to say, I have confidence in the system, I have the facts on my side, and because our system works, I know I'll be vindicated by the facts. That's historically what we've said when Americans have been put in legal jeopardy. I believe in the system, I have the facts on my side, I have representation, and I'll let the court of law and the rule of law in our country prevail. That's not what Trump says anymore. Yeah, I can't be investigated, I can't be arrested, I can't be charged. Nothing about me is suspect or worth investigating. And I would say that is, among other things, a unique approach.
These are very different times indeed. CBS's Major Garrett with the latest news that former Vice President Mike Pence ordered to testify before the grand jury about former President Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Major Garrett, I have shared with Bob Brainerd, our sportscaster today, that you have brightened my March Madness by including me in your very special brackets. Major Garrett, Major steps up. Not only does he contributes to the charity of the winner's choice. This is what an upstanding man Major is. But Bob, you had a question for Major?
Yes, Major. Your bracket blew up like the rest of America. Say it
Yes,
so.
it did. Yes, it did.
Do you have anybody in the Final Four, Major?
I do not.
Okay, I have Miami. I actually took the Hurricanes
Well
to get there. Well done. 1 of 4. Everything else is just a dumpster fire. But
yeah, but what? Hang out with the rest of us.
Good to place confidence in Coach Larinaga. He's an excellent coach. He took George Mason to the Final Four many years ago, rebuilt that program. I don't think Miami can beat Connecticut. Connecticut is doing exactly what you have to do this time of year, which is play the best basketball you've played all season.
They are.
And peaking at the right time. Look, I'm a native San Diegan. I was as surprised as anyone to see San Diego State in the Final Four. It's great for the city. It's great for that institution. Great for those young men. Although they're not that young. They're very experienced. A lot of them are 23, 24 years old. They're among the most experienced college basketball teams you ever see in the Final Four. But it'll be a great weekend. And as you know, or as you might know from my commission notes, the first note I wrote to all the participants in my bracket this year is there are no upsets. Why did I say that? Because college basketball, I think because of the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness, there's enough fluidity among talent, and there's enough distribution of talent and enough good coaches that parity or near parity has been found. And I think I've been vindicated in that assessment when only 1 4 seed is in the Final Four, not a single number 1 seed, not a single number 2 seed, not a single number 3 seed.
Major Garrett, not just covering Washington, D.C., also full of baseball knowledge. Thank you, Major Garrett.
See ya.
Business headlines from Milwaukee's Business Journal next.
What's your favorite mashup?
What's a mashup?
When you combine 2 unique pieces to create a work of art.
Like the Raylan table and Rory chairs from Penny Mustard. Good choice.
An elegant curved sandy gold base.
And a thick classic rectangular natural wood tabletop. Loft and luxury. Better known as Loftury.
Come meet the Raylan Dining Room Table, starting at $38.23, paired with Rory chairs for just $365 each at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
You can rely on Blaine's Farm and Fleet for the best prices on just about everything, like Hillman Builders Hardware. Right now, it's $1.99 a pound. All ADS culverts, tubing, and poly pipe now 10% off. And save $100 on a Hobart Handler 210 MVP MIG welder. On sale, $1049.99. For the best prices on the products you need, shop Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
With Milwaukee Business Journal headlines, here is Rich Kirchen.
Numerous executives leave Kohl's Corporation last year, and 2 received payments, including severance, totaling over $5 million. The largest amount goes to former Chief Marketing Officer Greg Revelle at $3.4 million. The 2023 Milwaukee Film Festival reduces the number of virtual showings as the pandemic fades and they focus on in-person cinema experiences. The festival unveils its lineup April 6th. The first construction trailer parks on the site of the FPC Live Entertainment venue next to Fiserv Forum. The concert company isn't ready to announce a groundbreaking date. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
This Milwaukee Business Journal update sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has set the standard for excellence in hospitality. Its reputation for offering impeccable service and luxurious accommodations is simply unmatched. For your next getaway, pamper yourself with a stay at the Pfister Hotel. Enjoy an evening of fine dining at its classic restaurant, Mason Street Grill. Unwind with a skin, body, or hair treatment at the Pfister Well Spa and Salon. Take in live music with a view from the 23rd floor at Blue Cocktail Lounge. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
The best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Hi, this is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Integrity, excellence, quality, and community are what we value here at Ridgetop because we want to do a great job to help our friends and neighbors. We always want to exceed expectations because customer service is our #1 goal. We're trusted local experts you can count on for your home exterior projects. Thanks for choosing Ridgetop Exteriors for your home's next project. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
We are happy to have Mary Ann here with Heiser. It's no surprise the market is still unpredictable.
You're absolutely right, Steve. But we understand the challenges and will assist through the entire process. Good news is that Heiser has inventory on our lots, or you can still special order one. Either way, we will give you all the numbers up front. No hidden market adjustment fees, not on trade-in values or vehicle purchases, and no new vehicles are sold over MSRP.
Can you elaborate on what that means for the customer?
That means we value our customers and will treat them right. Heiser will always be transparent and fair, no matter the market.
That's the reason why Heiser has helped over 1 million customers over the last 100 plus years in business. And if that wasn't enough, you have your vehicle exchange program. So if you don't love it, exchange it.
Yes, that's included in our exclusive Safe and Sound program. It's on all new, used, and vehicle order outs. You can find all the details plus our monthly specials at Heiser.com.
Thanks, Mary Ann.
See dealer for complete details.
Social Security benefits denied? Contact Tayback for the payback. Go to taybackattorneys.com.
Traffic sponsored by Weniger Compressor, the Midwest air compressor experts. Visit pressureisoff.biz. Weniger Compressor carries high-performance, top-of-the-line compressors. Many offer a lifetime warranty and 60-day return policy. Contact Weniger at pressureisoff.biz.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4:02. I'm Sandy Max. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News for Tuesday, March 28th. Your top story, we continue to learn more about the response to the Nashville school shooting.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, murder charges for a 12-year-old.
And I'm Bob Brainerd. Matt LaFleur ready to move on in Green Bay.
I'm Mike Spalding. Couple of slowdowns on the roads this afternoon. 43 southbound's the biggest one we're seeing right now. There is some road construction near Bender Road that has a left lane block. So getting from about Bender Road to Silver Spring Drive's a bit of a slog right now. But from Brown Deer Road to downtown overall, it's a pretty smooth ride. It is an 18-minute commute. Slowdown there of about 6. Elsewhere on the roads, westbound 94 from downtown to Highway 16. That'll take you 19 minutes. Slow down there at 3. While 4145 southbound Highway Q to the Zoo, that is a 19-minute commute, a slowdown of about 5 minutes. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. TMJ weather. Increasing clouds tonight, low 27, and tomorrow expect some morning snow during your morning commute. Mostly cloudy, breezy, high 36 tomorrow. Right now, 43 in Milwaukee at 4:03. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Nashville police officers who ended yesterday's armed assault on a private school are hearing high praise for their handling of the situation.
Small bathroom. Clear. Police body-worn camera shows a disciplined and quick search of the first floor of the Covenant School. The officers follow the sound of gunfire upstairs, confront Audrey Hale standing near a large arched window, and open fire. Hale drops to the floor as officers close in. It was 14 minutes from the first shots until the last. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Nashville.
Residents remain evacuated from the community within the Corridor apartment building in Milwaukee, which used to be an industrial complex, due to high levels of a dangerous chemical. Dr. Jeff Potoff tells TMJ4 News there could be some effects of short-term exposure to TCE, but...
The bigger concern is that this chemical is a known carcinogen, meaning it's a chemical that if you accumulate enough of it can cause cancer, particularly kidney cancer, but also liver, some cervical cancers, and also some lymphomas.
New documents showing that the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources pushed back against developers concerned they didn't complete the necessary testing to fully clear the building of TCE vapor. The DNR and the Milwaukee Health Department have scheduled a meeting with residents at 4:30 this afternoon to provide further guidance.
A first taste of the Brewers' new in-stadium restaurant and brewery.
I feel like we've been doing something right for the past 156 years, and it's just a thrill to be able to bring this to life.
Tony Buger, president of Leinenkugel Brewing Company, says the Barrel Yard at AmFam Field is a match made in heaven.
People love baseball here in Wisconsin. People love beer in Wisconsin, and that fits really well together.
The new brewery and restaurant will feature exclusive beers brewed at the Brewers ballpark. Buger's favorite,
Leinenkugel's Red.
Barrel Yard makes its debut alongside the Brew Crew on April 3rd. Finn Askin, WTMJ News.
Packers officials speaking out. Bob Brainerd has more in sports next.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Time 4:05. The news sponsored by Smart Spaces. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
We take an inventory, see what they have, and analyze what their goals are. And what do these spaces need? Does it need to be a simple presentation space, or does it need to be a full-blown conferencing space? No longer are the days of just Zoom rooms and team rooms. These are agnostic spaces. We have to make that easy. The ease of use is first and foremost in all the systems that we do.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Help us make a difference by supporting local veterans and others in your community during Fleet Farm's Make a Difference event. Stop by your local store and donate non-perishable foods, personal care items, or household goods, and you'll get $15 off your purchase of $75 or more. Now is your chance to help make a difference in your community during Fleet Farm's Make a Difference event.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often, because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
If your nerves are frayed over the Aaron Rodgers situation, take the approach of Matt LaFleur. Speaking today at the NFL meetings, the Packers head coach has already moved on to his next signal caller challenge, even if the deal isn't officially done.
You know, it is what it is, and at the same time, we're excited about Jordan and how he's been able to progress. We all have to kind of temper our expectations for him. I just think it's going to be a progression. I mean, certainly I think we're fooling ourselves if we think he's going to go out there and perform at a level of to the likes of what Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this guy is a once-in-a-lifetime, a generational talent.
On the ball diamond, the Brewers and Rockies closing out Cactus League play this afternoon in Arizona. Milwaukee leads Colorado 5-0 top of 7. Rookie Bryce Terang was the big roster news yesterday, making the club slated to play second base. That spelled the end for former first-round pick Keston Hiura, or did it?
We did have a lot of talks. Ultimately, weren't able to come up with a deal, but you know, I think he's a guy that, you know, has a bright future ahead of him if it's not with us. You know, and again, he could still clear and be a big part of our team coming back. So if he ends up you know, back in the Brewers in the big leagues, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
That's Brewers GM Matt Arnold, and Hiura did clear waivers today, and he will report to AAA Nashville. The Bucks get back at it tomorrow night, closing out a 4-game road trip at Indiana. Milwaukee holding on to that best record in the NBA, up 2 now on Boston with 7 games to play. And the Badgers look for a berth in the NIT Championship if they can get past North Texas tonight. The game tips off at 6 p.m. in Las Vegas. And at those NFL owners meetings, Andrew and Sandy. This caught my eye. I mean, forget all the rule changes. Now players will be able to wear 0 on their jersey if they so choose.
The number 0?
There is no number 0, Andrew.
Okay, listen to me. You take it up with the Mayans, okay, who invented it. Is there no number 0?
Up until this past season, no. But college started allowing young men to have 0 on their jersey. Braylon Allen of the Badgers, star running back, he wears 0. But the NFL, they've had some double zeros back in the 70s.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, Jim Otto, Ken Burrow. Ken Burrow was the last player in the NFL to wear 00. But since then, no 00, no 0 allowed. Now you can be 0.
What a crazy time we live in. You can be a 0.
And I can hear the Packer fans saying, give it to Aaron Rodgers because that's what he's giving us lately, 0.
Listen, the drama. This is like being at the Vatican and waiting for the white smoke to come out of that chimney and see who the new pope is.
You are correct. We are on Rogers Watch. Bob Brainerd has the latest next on TMJ.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
You know, it feels good when I find something really cool and get a great deal on it. But it feels even better when I know that the money I spend actually goes directly to helping others. That's why I shop at St. Vincent de Paul, because I always find the best bargains, and the money I spend stays in Milwaukee County to help fight hunger and eliminate poverty. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton in Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Grandview Homes will buy your home as is today. It doesn't matter what condition it's in. We'll give you a fair cash offer in 48 hours, and you have nothing to lose to try us out. With Grandview, you don't need to fix your home to sell it. Call or visit grandviewhomes.com.
This just in. Aaron Rodgers bought a tube of toothpaste.
At this point, it's my intention to play for the Jets.
Anything that falls short of this Jets team not winning the division, oh boy, watch out.
This is Rodgers Watch 2023 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
When it comes to me, they don't know.
There he is, Aaron Rodgers, not yet a New York Jet. Now, before we kick around Rodgers Watch here, Andrew and Sandy.
And the latest update that you have, yes, Bob?
Yes, I think we should, give him fair, equal opportunity here. So, Adam, if you can dial up Aaron Rodgers, you have his phone number, right? So,
it's funny enough. I know he told Schefter lose my number, but he hasn't told me that yet.
Okay. Well, let's ring him up and let's try to get him on the show.
All right, let's see what we can do here. Hold on one sec.
The horse's mouth, as we call that.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Aaron Rodgers is not available. At the tone, please record your
Do you want me to
message.
leave him a message?
When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
No, we'll try and. Oh, he's not picking up. Not picking up. Not typical. So here's where we are. The latest. You heard from LaFleur. You heard from Brian Gutekunst. They are basically saying, we think this is going to happen. We've facilitated what we can on our end. The Jets know what needs to get done as far as compensation to make this deal get done. So the Packers have always sounded like they are confident this will get done. And Brian Gutekunst said it best, too. The ball is kind of in the court of the New York Jets right now. They need to come up with the proper compensation. Could Rodgers come back and play for the Packers? Here's a funny scenario.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's funny, but funny, ironic. He could come back to Green Bay, and they could say, you're the backup, even though we're paying you $50 million. You're under contract, and you could sit on the sidelines and watch Jordan Love be the starting quarterback. How would that look?
That would be rough. I don't. Can you? Is $50 million? Is that the amount of money that is worth doing something like that? Doing just like a jerk move like that? You know, just once you just go outside and key his car, and you know it has the same sort of angry effect on the whole situation.
Would that ego though play? I mean, even though he's making boatloads of money, could his ego stand on the sidelines with a clipboard and with a visor on and watch a young kid be the starting quarterback?
I don't think so, because that's part of what this has all been about.
He's
right?
a Hall of Famer. I mean, you don't.
He
you
absolutely
don't.
is.
You don't. I think the city of Green Bay would riot if you kept Rodgers on the bench when he could be playing. But that's just me.
Right, and
depending on how Jordan Love plays,
it's not going to happen. But technically, it could if the Packers wanted to pull a completely D move here.
Yeah.
Okay, they could do that because he is still their property. He is still under contract, and he is still going to be paid, whether it's by the Packers or the New York Jets. This could fall apart, and they could say, "All right, you're still on the team, but we're going with this guy as our starting QB."
You're the equipment manager now.
Yeah.
$50 million.
On the old
Get my
National
towel.
Bank talking text line, Bob, it seems like a lot of people are agreeing with you that, he's full of himself. So, Bob Brainerd, keeping an eye on Rodgers Watch with us here at TMJ. And superheroes can be a very unique way to celebrate women. We will explain next on WTMJ.
The voice of this call.
Swing a line drive, deep center, and it over the fence.
And this one.
Here's a throw home, not in time, and the Brewers win it in 11 innings.
And of course, this one.
Christian Yelich, third deck. Holy smoke!
Jeff Levering is on Brewers 360 every Wednesday morning at 7:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Holiday Automotive and Outdoor Living Unlimited.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, we all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
There goes Dirty Dan Kelly, riding off into the sunset of his pathetic, dishonest campaign. He's badly trailing Judge Janet Protasewicz, so Dan and his friends are trying to pickle your brain with lies, because they don't want you to know the truth. That for all his tough talk on crime, Dan Kelly has never sentenced a single criminal to jail. Not one, partner. Some tough guy. Even a bar association rated him, quote, not qualified. I'm guessing that's because Kelly is corrupt as a termite-infested house. You heard about the Zignego case, right? The one where Kelly recused himself, then took $20,000 from Zignego and his family. Then Kelly unrecused himself so he could judge the case. Boy, if honesty were leather, Dan Kelly couldn't saddle a flea. So don't hitch your wagon to Dirty Dan's rotten ride. He's just too corrupt.
Paid for by Janet for Justice.
From the WTMJ Traffic Center, Mike Spalding in for Debbie Lazaga.
Hey, good afternoon, Sandy. Things are looking all right on the roads. Couple of slowdowns southbound 43 Brown Deer Road to downtown Milwaukee. That'll take you 18 minutes right now. Some road construction at Bender Road, slowing things down just a bit. You'll be tapping your brakes. Make it to your destination about 6 minutes slower than normal. Eastbound 94 between Highway 16 and downtown Milwaukee. That is a 20-minute ride. A slowdown there of 3. On the westbound side from downtown out to Highway 16, that'll take you 17. 4145 southbound Highway Q to the Zoo. That is an 18-minute commute. A slowdown there of about 4 minutes. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Increasing clouds tonight, low 27. Tomorrow morning, expect some snow, not any major accumulation. Otherwise, cloudy, breezy Wednesday, high 36. Thursday, light rain, high 47. Friday, scattered thunderstorms, high 54. And Saturday, starting the weekend off on April 1st with light snow and 43 degrees. Right now, it is 43 degrees in Milwaukee at 419. I'm Sandy Max. John Mercure out today for spring break, so we have guest host actor Andrew Varela in the studio with me. Co-anchoring news, Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik with sports reports today. Mike Spalding in for Debbie Loziga with traffic updates, and your spring break crew includes the steady hand of Adam Roberts producing Behind the Glass. And we welcome to the studio now a delightful lass who once called herself Tiny Dancer in the CB days.
On the CB
oh my
radio.
Gosh, I am smiling ear to ear.
Music makes
because
you feel good, doesn't it?
It does. I am a lifelong Elton John fan. And back in the 70s, when we were all on the CB radio, my handle was Tiny Dancer. And so, Adam, thank you for that bumper music, that walk-on music. I feel like $1 million.
And she is Susan Varela of Skylight Music Theater. And with it still being Women's History Month for a few more days of March, I wanted to invite you to share not just some good news that you have in your professional career, but also one of the most unique theatrical events that will be coming to the Skylight Theater that I would say is part of a women's history type celebration.
Yes. Well, thank you, first of all, Sandy. It's lovely to see you. We were just connecting that we had met long ago with our mutual friend, the Marcus Center.
Yep.
We met surrounding a theatrical experience there. We were looking at what their season announcement was. And now I'm very excited. I'm on my 12th day of being the executive director at Skylight Music Theater.
Congratulations.
Thank
12
you.
days. You made it, huh?
12 days.
That's the hard part. The
And
hard part's over now.
They let me come back. Yeah. So I'm thrilled and honored. Skylight has been a huge part of my life. I loved it as an audience member back growing up in my days of Greendale High School and UW Milwaukee, where I went for 1 year. And now I get to lead the team there, so it's very exciting.
And it's great for the Milwaukee culture because you, growing up here, but you've gone off and been a performer yourself.
That's right. So I went to UWM for a year, and then I got a performance scholarship to UW Stevens Point, graduated from there with a degree in music theater, and then I was off. I went to Germany for 2 years to do the musical Cats.
Oh, my.
And
what
then
an experience.
It was. You know, the funny thing is when I auditioned for that show, the audition tour came through Chicago. And so I drove down on my day off from the Fireside where I was working just post-graduation and auditioned for the shout out. And I auditioned for the show not knowing where it was based. I didn't know if I was auditioning for the Broadway company or the National Broadway Tour. And it turns out that it was the Hamburg German company. So I was off to Germany for 2 years to sing in German the show Cats.
What an experience that absolutely to see the world. But I mean, I think to sing do you just learn to sing phonetically?
Yes, that's exactly how you learn. They teach it to you that way, which is really exciting and really terrifying because if suddenly you forget your lyrics, it's like you're on a track, and if you fall off, you cannot improv in a language that you do not speak.
I can. I can.
Well, people have made things up for sure, but
didn't you live off Snickers bars for a month when you got there?
I did.
Yeah.
Snickers bars and pickles. Those were the two things I could identify in the supermarket.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
You know what? I still enjoy them both.
I would have thought pretzels if you're in Germany, but Snickers and
not
pretzels.
A lot of pretzels.
That'll go.
Yeah, Snickers bars.
After your German experience?
So then I came back to the States, and I came back to this country, but went right to New York because that was my goal, was to get on Broadway. And I got to live my dream. I lived in New York City for 20 years. Worked on Broadway in Les Miserables, did Radio City Music Hall, did many national tours, and met this man over here on my right,
She's
Andrew
pointing
Varela.
at me, America.
And we got married, had a child, and then we started thinking, we would like to have a different upbringing for him than New York City. I'm sure many people raise their kids in New York and it's great, but that was not for us. We were ready to move on. And Andrew, having grown up all over the world, he did not have the same kind of roots that I have here in Wisconsin. And he always said to me, well, to hear you talk about it, Milwaukee is the center of the universe. And I think it is. So we came back here and he glommed onto my roots, and we've been very happy here ever since.
I'm basically a parasite.
A performing parasite. This is good.
I've gotten worse reviews than that, so just so you know.
But for the two of you to bring your wealth of experience all around the world
Mm-hmm.
and from Broadway stages, both of you, and now to bring that experience to develop new talent on stage and in production crews, and now to be leading the Skylight Music Theater. That is wonderful. What a gift to our cultural scene here.
Well, thank you. And it's a gift to us. I mean, we feel like the lucky ones because we found a place for us to live and for our livelihood here in Milwaukee. And
people
the
that
art
really
scene is so great.
people that really deserve good art and new and interesting material. Milwaukee is a great place to be an artist. And everybody that joins us here says the same thing. They come away feeling the same way.
Well, you've got a very cool show that caught my eye, like I said, as it's Women's History Month, and women empowering musical that has been a concert, but it's also part of this world premiere Wisconsin movement the next couple of months.
That's right.
We're going to see this show before it goes to London's West End.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Tell us more.
So
and it's got a cool name,
The
too.
Milwaukee audiences get to be the first to see this developmental project called Super You.
Super You.
It's a great title. It's a great logo. Like the merchandise was going to be fantastic.
So you're already thinking like a producer.
That's right. But this is part of the World Premiere Wisconsin initiative, which is a statewide festival celebrating new plays and musicals that's happening here from March 1st through June 30th. And there will be more than a dozen productions involved with this initiative, and which is a really fantastic thing, and we're so fortunate to be a part of it. So our entry into the World Premiere Wisconsin initiative is Super You. And it is an empowering women-led musical. It celebrates the journey of a comic book artist who learns to love herself and find her voice when her own superheroine creations come to life.
The costuming's got to be great.
It is. It's really so exciting, and it's about female empowerment, but not just female empowerment. It's human empowerment. It's about self-respect and acceptance, and it's really going to be exciting. So,
and it's our chance to be the first.
We are the
it's
first
very
to
exciting.
see it.
Just
that
wonderful.
Skylight is positioning itself to be one of those incubators of new work, which is a fantastic place to be when you're a small professional theater, because it gets you into the ground floor of projects that who knows where they could go. It's only upside for Milwaukee and for Skylight.
Ah, Susan, thank you so much. I wish you great success in
Thank
your first
you.
year at the Skylight Music Theater
Thanks,
as the
Sandy.
Is it executive director?
Yes.
There
and
we go. I got to get the title right. And you also have a very special veterans benefit event planned for later this year, a project that actor Gary Sinise's foundation has created, and that official announcement about your special event is coming up at 5:15 right here on TMJ.
That's right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. I look forward to welcoming you back to the studio.
One more question. What do you want to eat tonight?
Oh, no.
Can't
You
talk
can
about that
discuss
here.
that.
Can
You
I
can
quickly
discuss
say
that while I say time for some news about your money and your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Unfortunately, the Dow is down 37 points, 32,394. S&P 500 down 6 points to 3971, and the Nasdaq down 52 to 11,716. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. This is not the time to set it and forget it. Get help now. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
What's your favorite mashup?
I like Hawkeye.
That's not what she's talking about.
Oh, what's a mashup?
When you combine two unique pieces to create a work of art.
Songs? Movies?
What about furniture?
Sure.
Like the Raylan table and Rory chairs from Penny Mustard.
The Raylan dining room table is a made-in-the-USA mashup of loft and luxury.
An elegant curved sandy gold base.
And a thick, classic, rectangular, natural wood tabletop.
You wouldn't think they'd work well together, but they do.
Choose from different size, lumber, and stain options.
The Raylan table is the perfect mashup.
Luxury and loft.
Better known as Luxoft.
I don't think so.
Loft?
No.
I got it. Loftury.
Come meet the magnificent mashup known as the Raylan dining room table, starting at $38.23, paired with Rory chairs for just $365 each at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Luxurious versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula on Advent's one-stop-shop office-based procedures approach to solving breathing triangle problems.
A lot of folks are like, I don't want to go to surgery.
isn't there something else we could do? And at Advent, there is something else we can do. We have a whole host of office-based options where you don't have to go to surgery. We could do it under local anesthesia, get these things taken care of. How does that sound? And don't be surprised when you hear that a lot of people go for those options. When given the choice between surgery and office procedures, almost everybody that we talk to and give them the choice, they choose the office. That's not surprising. That's just understanding your patients and offering them the options that they would choose. So I think at Advent, when you put all that together, we are a one-stop shop for these issues.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
With inflation on the rise, Wisconsinites are hurting at the gas pump, at the grocery store, and to pay their bills. Now big city lobbyists are pushing for potentially massive property tax hikes, which would put a further burden on your already stretched thin wallet. They are coming after the local property tax levy freeze that has saved taxpayers more than $3.5 billion since 2011. Property taxes are already Wisconsin's most onerous tax, and their proposal would make it worse. Right now, you control your property tax increases by voting in local referenda. The big city lobbyists want to take away your control and allow property taxes to increase automatically without your approval. We must stop this attempt to thaw the property tax freeze. Call your legislator at 800-362-9472 and let them know you appreciate their efforts to protect your hard-earned money. Paid for by the Wisconsin Homeowners Alliance.
J&J Contractors' skilled and certified team members use high-quality materials for all of your exterior needs. Roofing, siding, windows, and gutters. Contact them today. Just Google J&J Contractors.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm Sandy Max, learning more about the Nashville shooter.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, an arrest in a Madison firebombing.
And I'm Bob Brainerd. The Bucks still the best in the NBA.
I'm Mike Spalding, starting to note a couple of slowdowns on your ride home this afternoon. Westbound 94 between downtown and the Zoo interchange. It is currently an 11-minute trip, but it's a slowdown there of about 7 minutes. On the eastbound side between the Zoo and downtown, that'll take you 10. That is a slowdown there of 3. Southbound 4145 between Highway Q and the Zoo. That is an 18-minute ride, a slowdown there of 3 minutes as well. Southbound 43 Brown Deer Road to downtown. That'll take you 18 minutes. That is a slowdown of 6. While southbound 94, I should say, from downtown to Layton Avenue, that is a 13-minute ride, a delay of 6 minutes. While you're navigating the roads as quickly and as safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line. Our number is 414-238-9329. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by J&J Contractors, southeastern Wisconsin's most trusted home remodel since 1983. And your WTMJ weather forecast: increasing clouds tonight, low 28. Wednesday weather, expect some snow showers. Some light snow tomorrow morning, high 39. Right now it is 44 degrees and Milwaukee at 4:32. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a day after the 3 children and 3 adults were killed at a private school in Tennessee, investigators have learned a little more about the shooter.
Friends of Audrey Hale have talked about her mental health challenges, including thoughts of suicide. Having spoken with Hale's parents, Nashville Police Chief John Drake now says
she was under care, doctor's care, for an emotional disorder.
Hale's parents thought she had sold all of her firearms, but
as it turned out, she had been hiding several weapons within the house.
Drake says Audrey Hale's guns had been purchased legally. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Nashville.
Investigators on Tuesday finally capturing the man they believe firebombed a prominent Wisconsin anti-abortion lobbying group's office last year ahead of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The 29-year-old Madison man is charged with 1 count of attempting to cause damage by means of fire or an explosive. 2 firebombs were tossed into the office on May 6th last year. One failed to ignite. The other set a bookcase on fire. The message, "If abortions aren't safe, then you aren't either," was spray painted on the building's exterior. No one was in the office at the time the attack, coming about a week after the draft opinion suggesting that the Supreme Court would indeed overturn Roe v. Wade was leaked.
Residents remain evacuated from the community within the corridor apartment building due to high levels of a dangerous chemical. The building used to be an industrial complex before being converted to apartments. Dr. Jeff Potoff tells TMJ4 News there can be some effects of short-term exposure to TCE, but
the bigger concern is that this chemical is a known carcinogen, meaning it's a chemical that if you accumulate enough of it can cause cancer, particularly kidney cancer, but also liver, some cervical cancers, and also some lymphomas.
New documents show that the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources pushed back against developers concerned that they didn't complete the necessary testing to fully clear the building of TCE vapor.
Milwaukee police involved in a shootout with a suspect who stole a car and led them on a chase on Monday. According to MPD, officers were shot at by the suspect near 75th and Congress. The windshield of their squad car was riddled with bullets, but officers were unhurt. The suspect fled the scene before eventually losing control of the vehicle near 34th and Capitol and crashing into a pole. The 21-year-old suspect was taken to the hospital and then into custody.
Packers Watch continues. Bob Brainerd has more in sports next.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:34.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Whether you're out in the yard, the workshop, or the driveway, it's time to save big on supplies for outdoor DIY projects. Right now, Rewards members get a free $10 gift card with an $80 estate fertilizer purchase. Save $20 on a Basement Watchdog big combination sump pump with Wi-Fi. All Leviton electric supplies are 15% off, and 11-inch Gardner Bender cable ties are buy one, get one free. Visit our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. We're passionate about continuing on our mission to help more Wisconsin businesses create more success. If you have any questions about our insurance products or just want a second opinion about your insurance or employee benefits, I invite you to check out ANSI.com, or better yet, give us a call at Yancey & Associates. And let's have a conversation about your business and how we can help you secure, protect, and grow your version of the American dream.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
7 games remain for the Bucks, with Indiana next on the docket tomorrow night. Last night, a shot in the arm from Chris Middleton, who made up for the absence of Giannis and Drew Holiday by gouging the Pistons for a season-high 34.
I think he's played well since he's been back, and we've obviously been diligent how we ramped him up, but defensively, I think he's doing some good things. His pace and some of the pick and rolls, his ability, he's getting to the free throw line more this year. Maybe there's a few little things, but in a lot of ways, I think he's better.
That's Mike Budenholzer. In Vegas tonight, the Badgers will try to extend their NIT run with a semifinal matchup against North Texas. Tyler Wall, keenly aware that Wisconsin remains the lone Big Ten team still playing in the postseason.
We're pretty resilient in that we've had a lot of ups and downs throughout the season, and that could have been another turning point where things fell apart. But we took it as an opportunity to come together and get some wins and play some good basketball.
And the Brewers closing out fake baseball in Arizona this afternoon, leading the Colorado Rockies 8-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Veteran Luke Voigt making the Milwaukee roster yesterday. He'll spend some time at first base and DH, and humbled to have a chance with the new ball club.
This baseball world is very humbling, and it's humbled me a lot this year. I appreciate this, and I just worked my butt off to get back to this opportunity, and I feel like I got a lot to give to this team, to baseball, and hopefully I can play as long as I can, and I'm excited to do it, and the blue and yellow.
And the Aaron Rodgers mess is just that, a mess. If you think the Packers are fretting or sweating, then think again. GM Brian Gutekunst just waiting for the Jets to blink first.
Not much going on right now, and again, I think it has to work for both parties, and I think we're both committed to figuring that out. But it's really kind of in their court right now, so we'll kind of see where it goes.
So he's not fretting or sweating, but rest of Packer fandom is pretty much. So just get this over with.
Yes,
I'm just glad sports is using the word fretting. I think that's an important thing. Yeah, I think that shows a lot of really. It's classy. It's classy, I think.
Thank you, my good man.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, it rhymes with sweating too. So that's
well, that also whatever. It's got to sound good too.
The poetic Rogers Watch continues with Bob Brainerd in sports.
Acting genius.
Oh, I love it. And I got to think, bless Aaron Rodgers, but he probably didn't enjoy his last trip to England. But Andrew and Susan Varela, I think we have something in common. A little bit of England discussion next on WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickard here to report that 4 out of 10 homebuyers paid over the seller's asking price last month in southeast Wisconsin, and 2 out of 10 paid $10,000 or more over asking. The good news is appraised values are generally keeping up with those over asking offers. Still, the most powerful thing a buyer can do to make their offer the most attractive in a multiple offer situation is to give the seller what we call appraisal wiggle room. No one really wants to pay over the appraised value unless they've already lost 5 or 6 offers, but it's a lot less scary than you think once your Accunet loan consultant shows you exactly how you typically don't have to bring any more money to closing, and your payment will only increase by a few bucks. Appraisal wiggle room is like a good card trick. You really need to see it to believe it. If you're home shopping with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, upgrade today to an Accunet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. You'll also like our lower rates and lower closing costs. That's ACCUNET.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News. I'm Sandy Max. John Mercure is out today. Guest host, actor Andrew Varela in the studio with me and with his wife, Susan Varela, who is the executive director of Skylight Music Theater. She's sticking around because we started talking about England, and it turns out we all enjoy a trip to England.
We did.
We had a great time. We had our friend Peter Lockyer, who we did Les Mis on Broadway with, was playing Jean Valjean in the West End.
Oh, my.
And he said, hey, guys, come on over. You can stay in my apartment, and you'll have a great vacation here. So we took all of our points that we had accrued over a decade of traveling on the road and got business class
seats.
We flew business to London. Pro tip: don't take an Ambien when you get on the plane because you miss all the food.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
sure. But
that.
you wake up and you're in England.
Oh, no, we were good after that. But,
that sounds like the trip of a lifetime.
We missed a lot
It
of
was
carbs.
amazing.
Yeah, it was
Have you
great.
been, Sandy, or you're on your way?
I have been. I'm on my way again in October. I can tell you more about that. Maybe you'd like to come with me.
I'd love it.
I was there in September when Queen Elizabeth passed away.
Oh, my.
I was there in 2018 when Harry and Meghan waved to me in their carriage. I was on the long walk in Windsor
Oh, my
as they got
gosh,
married.
all these milestones.
Been to Abbey Road Studio 2, where the Beatles and Pink Floyd made
Oh, you go
masterpiece
deep.
music.
You go real deep.
Been to Downton Abbey's Highclere Castle 3 times. Yeah,
Oh,
I've been.
that's
Yeah, it's my
amazing.
happy place.
Yeah.
It's
good for
my happy
you.
place.
Well, it was our first time together in England, but I had been previously, and I had done a deep dive on Stratford-upon-Avon.
Sure.
And all the Shakespeare, Anne Hathaway's Cottage, and, all of that good stuff, and the Tower of London, and of course, there's so much history there. There's so much to do. But this time we got to taste of the theater.
Yeah.
And
a
but the
taste of
royal
this- there's-
family. So will you be there for the coronation?
Not yet. I think it would be funny to apply for press credentials. I could cover because you heard that King
Absolutely.
Charles, nobody wants to play his concert. Like all of these famous musicians have
right?
been
No, I
turning him
didn't hear
down
that.
politely.
Really?
Yeah, like Adele isn't playing.
Susan,
Is
call them.
that
Let them know
because
I'm
of-
available.
I'm going to.
Honestly.
Tenors MKE. What is the reason for that, I wonder?
I just think there's a lot of old baggage with Princess Diana. Elton John isn't going to be falling over himself to perform at King Charles III.
He's on the Harry and Meghan team, I think.
Oh, is he?
Elton
Uh-oh.
is. Yeah.
Listen to that.
See, we could talk about England for ages, but I would love it if you'd come with me. But Susan, I definitely want to talk to you more about Stratford-upon-Avon because that is going to be one of the stops that we make in October.
Oh, it was so great. I mean, it lives up to exactly what, I mean, you see Shakespeare in Love, or, take a deep dive on all the Shakespeare lore, and it's completely satisfying as a trip.
How fun. Thank you for sharing your stories,
Yes.
Andrew and Susan Varela. And here's more information about the trip we're going on. It's October 12th. We're going to embark on a magical memory-making tour through England with Journeys Connect. It's a 10-day vacation called The Beatles and More, an England adventure. We're going to go through London and Liverpool. We're going to explore Windsor, Oxford, Stratford-upon-Avon, Stonehenge, and Bath in England. I'm not kidding. It is my happy place. It is my pleasure to show you some of my favorite parts of London before we have an immersive experience in the Fab Four's hometown of Liverpool, including private after-hours access at the Beatles Story Museum. We'll also see England's royal life with a tour of Windsor Castle, stroll Oxford University's historic campus, and Shakespeare's birthplace, Stratford-upon-Avon. We're going to get mystical and mythical at Stonehenge and marvel at Bath's ancient architecture. There's much more to tell you about this beautifully British experience, all put together by Journeys Connect. Our travel expert, Steve Bertrand, will ensure all the details are taken care of so we can relax and enjoy the trip of a lifetime together. Let me send you the colorful brochure and full itinerary. Email me, sandy@wtmj.com, sandy@wtmj.com, or call 847-606-6065.
From 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
If there's ever terrain in which you can say in politics, hey, get off my lawn, and add an expletive or two, that's one of them.
To Capitol Hill.
If you're not talking about what you've done, who do you expect to do it?
And everything in between.
There has to be other issues more relevant in Wisconsin than that.
CBS News' Major Garrett joins Wisconsin's Afternoon News every Tuesday at 3:45 on News Radio WTMJ.
Carjackings, theft, shootings. Crime in Milwaukee is soaring. Criminals are being put back on the streets by liberal judges like Janet Protasewicz, who care more about woke politics than law and order. Too often, liberal Judge Janet Protasewicz has refused to put convicted felons behind bars, only for them to re-offend. And Judge Janet says she has no regrets, while our communities suffer consequences. There's only one candidate in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race that puts the law before politics and victims over criminals. That's constitutional conservative Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly is endorsed by law enforcement and can be trusted to restore law and order. We can't afford to let woke liberal Judge Janet Protasewicz on our highest court. It's time to take back our streets, restore law and order, and vote conservative Dan Kelly for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Fair Courts America paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee. FairCourtsAmerica.org.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
From the WTMJ Traffic Center, Mike Spalding in for Debbie Lazaga today.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandy. Things are looking all right, all things considered, for your ride home this evening. Biggest delay right now is heading southbound on 43 between Brown Deer Road and downtown Milwaukee. That'll take you 18 minutes. That is a slowdown there of 6. We are getting some road construction slowdowns at Bender Road, the left lane block there, due to some ongoing construction. So you'll be tapping your brakes just a bit. Elsewhere, things are pretty good. Eastbound 94 between Highway 16 and downtown. That'll take you 20 minutes. A slowdown there of 3. On the westbound side from downtown out to Highway 16, that is a 17-minute commute. 4145 southbound Highway Q to the Zoo, 18 minutes. Slowdown there of 3. While 94 southbound from downtown to Layton Avenue, that is a 10-minute ride. A slowdown there of 3 minutes as well. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. Time now for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Increasing clouds tonight, low 27. And tomorrow morning, snow, mostly cloudy, breezy, high 39. Don't expect too much accumulation with that light snow, but the timing could be bad with your morning commute. Thursday weather, light rain, high 47. Friday, scattered thunderstorms, high 54. And the weekend starts on Saturday, April 1st with light snow and a high 43. Right now, 45 degrees in Milwaukee at 4:48. I am Sandy Max. John Mercure on spring break. Greg Matzik on spring break. So guest host actor Andrew Varela in the studio with me, and Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik with sports. And we are thrilled to welcome Dr. John Raymond to the show, the Medical College of Wisconsin's president and CEO, with our Milwaukee Health Briefing. And we've got questions for you, Dr. Raymond.
Good afternoon, Sandy. I'm ready.
Wonderful. We will start with something called Candida auris.
Yeah, Candida auris is a new species of a common fungus that was first discovered in 2009 and then identified in the U.S. in 2016. And our Centers for Disease Control and Prevention posted an advisory in December of 2022 about Candida auris. And the reason they posted the advisory was simply to alert healthcare providers that it was more likely to be resistant to the three classes of antifungal antibiotics that we typically use to treat infections like Candida. Older species of Candida are well known for causing urinary tract infections and resistant bloodstream infections. So it is important to know that there's only been one case reported in Wisconsin as of December 31st, 2022. So no need for anybody to panic about it. But the incidence is rising in some of the more populated states like Illinois, New York, Texas, Florida, and interestingly, Nevada, all of which have hundreds of cases. Again, no cause for concern because most hospital laboratories have the capability not only to identify this fungus on culture, but to do what we call sensitivity testing to choose the best antibiotic to treat it with.
I'm so glad we have you to turn to, though, because, you know, this is that kind of thing. If it's prevalent in other parts of the country and somebody just hears like, wait, should I be concerned about this? Thank you for
the answer is yes.
Well, no, but thank you for the comfort to know that it's good to be aware of it, but happily it's not a real problem here in Wisconsin. Speaking of antibiotic-resistant things, there seems to be a rising instances of antibiotic, I'm going to mispronounce it, Shigella?
You got that right.
Aha!
Shigella.
Shigella. So it's of concern to children?
Yeah, so this is another Centers for Disease Control advisory that was posted last month about an increasing incidence of antibiotic-resistant Shigella. Shigella is a bacteria that causes gastrointestinal symptoms, and typically that would be fever, nausea, some vomiting, and bloody diarrhea. Not as common as viruses that circulate that influence the GI tract, but still causes about 450,000 infections per year, and many of those are in kids because it's spread through the fecal-oral route. In other words, people get poop in their mouth, and kids maybe changing diapers, they don't wash their hands, maybe somebody didn't wash their hands in food prep when they were around kids, or even from drinking water in a swimming pool can cause that. Again, I wouldn't say for the typical parent that this is a significant cause for concern. It's simply to alert healthcare providers that when a child presents with GI symptoms, to not just assume that it's a virus, but to consider Shigella and possibly antibiotic-resistant Shigella as a potential cause. And again, because of the incidents associated with swimming pools, we're going to be having the summer come up here soon, so it's something to be aware of.
And even kids going on spring break, hanging out at the
That's
hotels,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So from children to older adults, I love that you may have found something very positive about Alzheimer's disease, something about a skin patch that could diagnose Alzheimer's disease?
Yeah, a really interesting study. There was a group that developed a skin patch that had microneedles attached to it, and the needles are connected to microsensors that can detect inflammatory cytokines that are specific for the brain. And so the idea is that you could apply a skin test that would be painless, easy to use at home, and might serve to detect Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative diseases early in their course. But there's a lot of work to do from going from this very promising proof of concept to actually having a test that's validated for any of those specific diseases. And one of the problems is we don't have a single specific biomarker for Alzheimer's disease that you could detect in the skin now. But maybe in the future, this could be something that could be a game changer for us.
Dr. Raymond, checking for colon cancer, awareness this month especially for guys. Someone I know, it was me, had the colonoscopy 2014, okay? Everything came back great, clean bill of health. But I think a lot of gentlemen think, okay, I had that done, so now I'm good to go the rest of my life. How long between colonoscopies should you be checked?
Really great question, and this is colorectal cancer month, March is, so it's important to talk about this. Colon cancer is something that causes the second largest number of cancer deaths in both men and women in the U.S., and many of those deaths are preventable with early detection. And there are about 150,000 new cases each year, and 1 in 20 people will develop a colorectal cancer during their lifetime. And so screening and detection is important. There are actually 3 ways to screen. The gold standard, the one that is uniformly recognized as the best, is colonoscopy. We used to say that you should start getting a colonoscopy at age 50 if you have average risk, but the American Cancer Society now recommends that you start at age 45 because 1 in 7 cases of colorectal cancer has been diagnosed in people under the age of 45 recently, and there is an increasing risk of colon cancer in young. And we've actually talked about that on the show before. So some risk factors would be alcohol smoking, human papillomavirus exposure, obesity, and then family genetic risk. So in addition to the colonoscopy, which if you do once and it's clean, you don't need to do for another 10 years, you can do what's called virtual colonoscopy, in which they do a CAT scan. That needs to be done every 5 years, and you should have a fecal test done in between. And then the third type of testing, less sensitive but more convenient, would be an at-home test where you send a stool sample in to be analyzed either for genetic markers of colon cancer or for occult or hidden blood. And those are reasonably good screening tests. If they're positive, though, you still need to go get the colonoscopy.
Doctor, I recently took a Stop the Bleed course offered at a hospital around here. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think more people should have access to courses like that?
Yeah, it's really great that you took the course and that you're highlighting this opportunity. So cardiopulmonary resuscitation was a game changer for survival in the field for people that had cardiopulmonary arrest. The American Heart Association and many others teach bystanders to intervene quickly for CPR. So the idea for Stop the Bleed is pretty similar. It's to teach lay people how to manage traumatic bleeding. And one thing people may need to know is that trauma and bleeding is the leading cause of death in people ages 1 to 44. So there is a new program called Stop the Bleed that really helps people to be able to deal with folks that they see that have suffered from an automobile accident, a traumatic fall, a power tool accident, something that can be life-threatening, to help them prevent the person from bleeding out. And hopefully you can tell us a little bit about the course, but it's really pretty simple. They teach you to keep your cool, call 911 first or have someone else do that. Make sure that the environment that you may enter where the person is injured is safe for you to enter, and then control the bleed. And the principles are pretty simple. Either apply direct pressure to the bleed or to the artery that is supplying the area that's bleeding. You can apply a tourniquet, elevate the limb, and really just try to make sure that you stop that bleeding as soon as possible.
And Dr. Raymond, can we register for a Stop the Bleed class at Froedtert?
You can. You can. Froedtert has the only adult level 1 trauma center in eastern Wisconsin. The other one is in Madison at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health, and you can register. The place to go for people to look for opportunities for the Stop the Bleed course is stopthebleed.org.
Well, that's simple. That's good. And quickly, what is your good news of the week, Dr. Raymond?
Well, I really loved your conversation about going to England, Downton Abbey, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, Shakespeare, Stonehenge. Really cool. But I want to just talk about 2 sports teams. Our Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team are in the semifinals of the NIT. The game starts in about an hour, and they're taking on North Texas, so we can cheer them on. And then our Bucks have the best record in the NBA, and they have some big games coming up against Boston and Philly.
Go Bucky and go Bucks. Thank you, Dr. Raymond.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Have a great day.
You too. Time now for business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal. Here is Rich Kirchen.
Cash from Kohl's. The company pays over $5 million severance and other compensation to executives who left last year. Leading the list is the former chief marketing officer at $3.4 million. As the pandemic fades, the Milwaukee Film Festival goes back to theaters in a big way. 2023 Fest reduces virtual showings and increases traditional in-person cinema experiences. The first sign of activity appears at the site for a new downtown music venue. A contractor for FPC Live parks a construction trailer on the site. No word yet on groundbreaking. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. We all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
Old National Bank is asking businesses to get old. But first, they have questions.
Who runs my business if I get old?
You do. You can get old and remain young.
Is that possible?
With a commercial bank as good as Old National, yes.
What will it feel like to get old?
Well, business owners describe a feeling of euphoria, having local decision-making and committed relationship bankers.
Okay, one old guy coming up.
Introducing Old National Bank, where business relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
Hi, it's Mary Ann. Heiser is happy to say that we have inventory on our lots. Choose one of them or special order one. It's your choice. With Heiser, you'll get upfront pricing and there's no hidden market adjustment fees. Plus, for our customers, we never sell over MSRP. And to make things even better, Heiser includes, with the purchase of every new, used, or order out, our exclusive vehicle exchange program. If you don't love it, exchange it. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
There goes Dirty Dan Kelly, riding off into the sunset of his pathetic, dishonest campaign. He's badly trailing Judge Janet Protasewicz, so Dan and his friends are trying to pickle your brain with lies, because they don't want you to know the truth. That for all his tough talk on crime, Dan Kelly has never sentenced a single criminal to jail. Not one, partner. Some tough guy. Even a bar association rated him, quote, not qualified. I'm guessing that's because Kelly is corrupt as a termite-infested house. You heard about the Zignego case, right? The one where Kelly recused himself, then took $20,000 from Zignego and his family. Then Kelly unrecused himself so he could judge the case. Boy, if honesty were leather, Dan Kelly couldn't saddle a flea. So don't hitch your wagon to Dirty Dan's rotten ride. He's just too corrupt.
Paid for by Janet for Justice.
You've heard about Purple mattresses. Try it before you buy it at Steinhoffel's.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Your hometown hub for everything that matters. The latest news, traffic, weather, and sports on Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5:02. I'm Sandy Max. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News for Tuesday, March 28th. Your top story, President Biden calling for action.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. New details on a contaminated apartment building.
And I'm Bob Brainerd. Spring training is over for the Brewers. Opening day is next.
And I'm Mike Spalding. Things are looking a little bit slow on your ride home right now. Westbound 94 between downtown and the zoo. It is a 12-minute commute. You'll start noticing some of those slowdowns at about 27th Street. They'll continue on through the stadium interchange. 4145 southbound Highway Q to the zoo, another problem area. We are getting some localized backups right around North Avenue, slowing that commute down quite a bit. It is a 25-minute ride, a slowdown there of 10 minutes. Southbound 43 from Brown Deer Road to downtown. It's really slow through the Marquette interchange. Right now, it's a 20-minute commute. That is an 8-minute delay, while 94 southbound from downtown to Layton Avenue, that's a 10-minute ride, a slowdown there of 3. Getting affected a little bit on the front end of that because of the back end of those Marquette interchange slowdowns. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
Your weather forecast: increasing clouds tonight, low 27. Wednesday, morning snow, mostly cloudy, breezy, high 36. Right now, 45 degrees in Milwaukee at 5:04. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Biden saying after the Nashville shooting that the nation owes the victims of gun violence more than prayers. It owes them action.
As he renews his call for a ban on semi-automatic weapons, President Biden says he'll call out members of Congress who oppose it.
You know, when people say, why do you keep doing it? It's not going to happen. Expose those people who refuse to do something.
As a senator, Joe Biden wrote a ban that was in place for a decade, starting in 1994. Opponents have stood in the way since it expired.
There's nothing absolute about any amendment, and this is ridiculous. It's all about money. Big, big, big money.
Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Washington.
City and state officials providing an update on the Milwaukee apartment building evacuated over the weekend due to high levels of a dangerous chemical. DNR Director for Remediation and Redevelopment Program Christine Seeger says the state was missing key information about the building.
DNR was not aware that the building had been occupied for several months until after repeated requests made for this information. The consultant confirmed occupants were in the building on the evening of March 22nd. The DNR has not had to work with this kind of situation previously, and that our recommendations are typically implemented by the party responsible for the contamination.
All 150 residents of the community within the corridor building, which used to be an industrial complex, have been moved to temporary housing.
Investigators on Tuesday finally captured the man they believe firebombed a prominent Wisconsin anti-abortion lobbying group's office last year ahead of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The 29-year-old Madison man is charged with one count of attempting to cause damage by means of fire or an explosive. 2 firebombs were tossed into the office on May 6th last year. One failed to ignite. The other set a bookcase on fire. The message, "If abortions aren't safe, then you aren't either," was spray painted on the building's exterior. No one was in the office at the time. The attack came about a week after a draft opinion suggesting the Supreme Court would indeed overturn Roe v. Wade was leaked.
Biggest game of the year for the Badgers. Bob Brainerd explains in Sports Next.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:06.
Get 0% for up to 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. PellaWI.com. For Milwaukee sports broadcaster Jeff Levering, this was the final straw.
When I walked into my son's room and there was frost on the hardware on the inside of the house. My wife was getting upset with the drafts coming through the doors. That was it.
It was time for the Leverings to call Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Putting new windows and doors in your home is a big decision. With all the options that Pella has, everybody on your staff has done a great job of making a really difficult decision super simple. And I can't wait to have them at my house.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 4 years. The beauty of Pella's designs allows us to customize, whether your new windows are painted, stained, or left bare, to complement your unique home decor. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 3/30/2023.
You're about to experience the impressive performance of the new Acura MDX Type S. With a powerful turbo V6 engine with 355 horsepower. It has room for the driver and 6 passengers. Also, it's perfect for your family. The new Acura MDX Type S. Acura, precision crafted performance.
See Acura of Brookfield, member of the Wisconsin Acura dealers.
Dig up a treasure trove of ideas for your home, garden, and outdoor living spaces at the Realtors Home and Garden Show. You'll explore live appearances by a variety of experts and more than 350 exhibits. Discover treasured spaces at the Realtors Home and Garden Show, presented by Unilock. X marks the spot at State Fair Park, March 24th through April 2nd. Visit mkehgs.com for info.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Final spring training tune-up just wrapped up in Arizona for the Brewers this afternoon. They beat the Colorado Rockies 8-1 with Cactus League play in the books. Milwaukee will fly to Chicago to kick off opening day, weather permitting, with the Cubs at Wrigley Field on Thursday afternoon. The Bucks maintain a 2-game lead over the Boston Celtics after winning Detroit last night. The Beantowners host Washington tonight, while Milwaukee closes out a 4-game road swing at Indiana tomorrow night. The Badgers tip off their NIT semifinal at the top of the hour in Las Vegas against North Texas. A win slots Wisconsin into the title game on Thursday night. And at the NFL meetings yesterday, Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst said the team reached out to negotiate with quarterback Aaron Rodgers during the offseason, making several phone calls to initiate a discussion. But Rodgers, the GM said, never returned those calls.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Well, hopefully Jordan Love knows a thing or two about breakups when his time to hang up his green and gold jersey arrives. I realize the kid is just idling, waiting to cut it loose, but there has to be a better script on how to make a clean break with your starting quarterback in Green Bay. The last 2 divorces were messy, to say the least. The current situation, still in progress, with a custody battle over who gets what when Aaron Rodgers officially becomes the New York Jets' migraine headache. Like a real separation of married adults, there has been name-calling and accusations that just tire everyone out around them. Where's the divorce court lawyer when you need one, right? Before that, there was the drama that is Favre. At first, it looked like a clean break when a teary-eyed Brett announced he was retiring, only to want back in when it was too late because the team moved on to the next diva. The Jets jumped in that time, too, followed by the Favre Revenge Tour wearing a Minnesota Vikings helmet. Be it a long love connection or a brief encounter, here's hoping Jordan and the Packers shake hands and smile and go their separate ways, minus all the departing drama.
Extra Points is sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. When you want it done right, call All Right.
I'm Randy Miller.
No, you're not. I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling.
I'm DJ.
Someday you might be the owner of All Right.
Like you and Daddy?
You'll have to learn that our family business is about more than just our family.
Do it right, call All Right.
Yes, but doing things right also means giving back.
When you want it all right, you call All Right. All Right, so many miles away.
Doesn't it seem like you never have anything to wear? That's why I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Whether it's a designer top, jeans, an adorable skirt, or cute accessories, I always seem to find something I like. And at prices I love. Gently used women's clothing and accessories for far less than you thought possible. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
This is Jim Griffin with March Service Specials. We'll change your oil, inspect and rotate your tires, check the battery and air filter, give it a complete multi-point inspection, check your heat, and even change your wiper blades, all for $129.95. Good at all 5 Griffin dealerships.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burkhart.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's Sandy Max.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? John Mercure is out today. Guest host, actor Andrew Varela in the studio with me. Co-anchoring news, Wyatt Barmore-Pooley and Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik on another day of spring break with sports. Mike Spalding in for Debbie Lazaga with traffic updates. And Adam Roberts is producing. So you got the spring break crew, but I'll tell you what feels like spring. Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Baseball.
Spring training just ended. Thursday, we'll see how the weather treats us in Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be messy around here, which means that it might be messier even south of us in Chicago. But we'll see. I mean, they always try to get opening day in. Now, of course, in Milwaukee next week, we'll get it in no matter what because we're going to shut the big shell on top, even if Mother Nature doesn't cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll do their best to try to get it in because and they do have the built-in Friday off, so that if it's a complete mess on Thursday in Chicago, then they would just say, "Okay, guys, can it?" and we'll try it again on Friday. So we'll see.
Feels like springtime, though.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
And Andrew, we were enjoying you and your national anthem singing.
Yes.
In 2019.
You get another shot?
You know what? I mean, they haven't changed it, so I guess I don't have to learn a new song.
They haven't changed the song?
Yeah,
No, I mean, you get another shot at AmFam Field. Are you on the docket this season?
Oh, I don't know. Probably now after this. I'm sure they're going to be banging down my door trying to get me to do it.
Bucket list to sing at the Brewers game. If you are ready for baseball like me, Bob, and Andrew are, tomorrow, a great reason to come out to American Family Field. It's the second annual Brewers Eve Bash, and we'll be broadcasting live there at American Family Field in the restaurant that used to not have a name. Now it's got a good name, and it's going to be Brew and Beer, the new Jay Leinenkugel's Barrel Yard. You are invited to join us on location. It is going to be free. It is going to be fun. And Raleigh Fingers is going to be a special guest on the show tomorrow.
Hall of Famer.
You know what? When I was doing Titanic, I had a handlebar mustache, and a homeless guy yelled, "Raleigh, you ain't no Raleigh Fingers." When I was walking past him. So there you go.
And you said you are correct. I am actually
yes, sir, I am not.
an architect of the Titanic. But Raleigh Fingers is going to be there, and he will not only be on the air with us, but he'll also be signing autographs starting at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Our broadcast will start at 3. Full details at WTMJ.com. But get in that spirit with us tomorrow at the Brewers Eve Bash.
And if you can't join us on site, you can always tune in the Wisconsin Afternoon News because Greg Matzik will be back.
Yep.
And Sandy will be there, and I'll be there, and Raleigh will be there. And we'll give you an idea of what the place is like. And that may involve some sampling. Of the product on site, just so we can pass it along to the viewers,
exactly,
the listeners.
And then
you're dedicated.
I'll let you know exactly what I think about you and what I think about other people and all kinds of good stuff like that. Yeah,
going to be fun. Join us tomorrow for the Brewers Eve Bash, and stay with us. We have a very exciting announcement about a very meaningful veterans benefit coming up in September here in Milwaukee. That's next on WTMJ.
Whether it's a bank failure, an overseas war, or a pandemic, you never know when the next market shock will happen. To gain the confidence to weather market fluctuations, you need a customized plan and portfolio. That's why we're offering you a free wealth path analysis. This roadmap provides tailored suggestions to show you how our personalized plan can help you stop worrying about short-term market volatility and start building long-term wealth. Head to creativeplanning.com/radio. Act fast. This offer is only available till Monday at midnight.
John Mercure here from my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. We're officially right there, I know, the middle of Be Prepared for Anything season. We've seen Marches where it's almost 80 degrees, and we've also had to shovel snow. The recent sporadic temperatures may have you unsure of what's coming next, but you can always count on comfort with the team that I trust, Dave Drake Camp Heating, regardless of any out-of-whack weather changes. Get caught up on your system's maintenance by scheduling a system tune-up or plan ahead for summer's heat and schedule a free in-home estimate to replace that struggling AC from last season. Now is the time to take advantage of Lennox's newly released early spring incentives on the industry's best, most efficient equipment. Inventories are back to healthy levels and rebates are back on. With over 40 years as the Lennox premier dealer of Southeast Wisconsin, Dave Drake Camp Heating will design you the most efficient, most comfortable system to replace your aging or inefficient system or to complete your next home improvement project. Visit DaveDrakeCamp.com today. They've come to my house for more than a decade. I trust the teams at Dave Drake Camp Heating.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution. I just finished writing a book about my experiences dealing with the IRS. It is already a bestseller. The IRS is the most ruthless collection agency in the world. They can seize your bank accounts, garnish your wages, and even take your house. The state can deny your professional license as a teacher, nurse, or other occupation. Do you want your employer to know about your problems? My book tells you what you can do so you don't have to worry about them ever again. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you step up and do something. We can help. We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and represent you in tax audits. Make the right choice and go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Do you want the absolute largest avocados in the market? Then shop Sendix this week, where super jumbo avocados are sale priced at 4 for $5. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
From the WTMJ Traffic Center, it is Mike Spalding in for Debbie Lazaga.
Good afternoon, Sandy. We are seeing some significant backups right now, 4145 southbound. There is a disabled vehicle just south of North Avenue right now. The right lane is blocked, and it's really gumming up the works. Between Highway Q and the Zoo right now, it is a 35-minute ride, a slowdown there of about 20 minutes. Other major delays, major, I guess not exactly. 43 southbound Brown Deer Road to downtown. That is a 20-minute commute, a slowdown there of 8 minutes. You'll start backing up really through the Marquette Interchange. Southbound 94 from downtown to Layton Avenue, getting a bit of residual backups from that Marquette Interchange slowdown. Right now, it is a 13-minute ride, a slowdown there of 6. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. And your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, low of 27. And tomorrow, there will be some morning snow, less than an inch of accumulation, but probably timing right during your morning drive. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, breezy, high 36. Thursday weather, light rain, high 47. Friday, scattered thunderstorms and high 54. And Saturday, April 1st, light snow and 43 degrees. Right now, it is 44 degrees in Milwaukee at 519. And it's our pleasure to be the official announcement for a very profound and important event that is coming up in September. Veterans benefit. They'll be happening at Skylight Music Theater. You might have heard earlier, Susan Varela, the executive director of Skylight Music Theater, joined us to talk about a different show called Super You, which sounds like a very fun musical. But now we welcome the Skylight artistic director, Michael Unger, and a very special playwright named Scott Mann. Welcome, gentlemen, to WTMJ.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for
having
having
me.
me.
Here.
Well, Michael, we wanted to make sure that we were able to get in the dates for Super You that your executive director so carelessly forgot to mention. So if you could throw those out there, that would be great, just so that people can know more about that.
Yeah, Andrew, you tell Susan the dates are May 26th through June 18th.
Okay, I will.
It's more than a fun musical. It is fun, but it is so empowering and inspiring. And we love to inspire on our stage, and that certainly is what we're going to be doing in September with Scott's piece.
And Michael, I think that the costumes are going to be great anytime you have a bunch of female superheroes.
Well, that's true. Yes, indeed.
Lots to look forward to. But I will tell you, when Andrew and I were talking, and we were talking about some of the great plans that Skylight has in mind, the name Gary Sinise came up. And everyone, I think, as soon as you hear Gary Sinise's name, you certainly remember him as Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. But I think he has just really come to symbolize care for veterans.
Veterans, first responders,
yes.
Taking care of their families. Just wonderful, wonderful work for all these people who do so much for all of us.
And it turns out, Michael, that you are friends with Gary Sinise, and you have cooked up something for September in Milwaukee.
Well, I don't know that I cooked it up, but Gary called me and asked me about it, to which I said, of course, but you'll hear about it from Scott. But so I was lucky enough to grow up in a right place at a right time when Gary Sinise and Terry Kinney and Jeff Perry started the Steppenwolf Theater Company in my hometown of Highland Park. And I was there in 1976, and I helped them paint the walls black of the basement of a church that became their first theater. And I was there for every single show. In fact, Gary and Terry tell this story about how they used to beat up, and it's on radio, so you can't see. I'm beat up as in quotes. Mikey Unger in the parking lot before they would charge on stage as these teenage maniacs in a play called Indian Wants the Bronx. So they sort of push me against the dumpster, or pretend to push me against the dumpster as their preparation for their, very high-octane performance. Anyway, but I became good friends with Gary and Terry and all those folks and watched that theater company become born. And it was about as thrilling as it can be. Has been an inspiration ever since to me. Everything that I've done in the theater has somehow has roots in that experience of watching these people come together as artists to create something that was important to them, telling stories they wanted to tell. They didn't really think about the audience much, or what would happen. And our hometown fell in love with them, catapulted them to Chicago. Chicago fell in love with them, catapulted them worldwide, and now they're one of the major theaters in the world, and a very important company. But Gary has always been incredibly dedicated to vets. He has vets in his family, and he did a play called Tracers many years ago, which I saw, which is sort of part of the root of how he came connected with Scott and Last Out. So Gary called me and said, I got this fabulous, inspiring, empowering show that is written by a vet, performed by vets and people that are vet families, and I'd love to do it at your theater. And I went to see it at Steppenwolf. It was mind-blowing and stunning and glorious, and there was a talk back after the show with the entire audience, many of whom are vets. And I think, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, when I was there at Steppenwolf, I feel like there were these two men who hadn't seen each other since Korea who were sitting next to each other in the audience that night. Anyway, but Scott should talk to you about this piece because he wrote it, he lived it. It's unbelievable. So, Scott, please do your thing.
I would say, let me just interrupt for a second by saying, Scott, I merely introduced you as a playwright because I was going to build this up, but you have some incredible credentials. You're a former Green Beret lieutenant colonel and an Afghanistan veteran. So thank you first and foremost for your service.
Yes.
And for being able to tell stories in this creative way to help people understand what your experience has been and also bring together veterans when they're not in service, because I know that's also part of the lifestyle and what can be missing if you don't have a mission. So when your mission becomes performing on stage and telling this story. So congratulations on all of that achievement, and thank you again for your service.
No, thank you so very much. That means more than you know. And Michael, thank you for the kind words. And honestly, when I did about 23 years in the Army and 18 of that as a Green Beret, and I did a lot of tours in Afghanistan. And one of the things that when I came out of the military, I was so struck by the fact that most of the country just did not have exposure to the military community, to the life of a military family, to what our kids went through in this 20-year war, and it really bothered me. And I felt like one of the things that I wanted to do as a storyteller was to help people understand the cost and sacrifice of modern war. And several mentors that kind of moved me down the road of becoming a playwright, and then to complete my midlife crisis, an actor at age 50. But it was really Gary's book, Grateful American. When I read that and I saw what he had done with Tracers that Michael was alluding to, I was so moved by that because I thought, man, the Vietnam era guys did this. We're post 9/11. We could do this. And so I set about the effort to put together a cast of all veterans and military family members, and we toured the country in 2019 in a U-Haul van, and we put 28,000 miles on it, and we came to Chicago and other places, and then Gary had heard of the play after the collapse in Afghanistan. He contacted me, and he said, hey, I think the country needs, a modern-day equivalent to Tracers. Would you be open to performing it in Steppenwolf and then taking it on the road? And after my wife picked me up off the floor, we said yes, and we had the opportunity to perform the play in Steppenwolf, and Michael and others were there, and now we're getting ready to kick it off, and we'll be able to bring the tour to Milwaukee, and we're just so excited about it.
We are wildly excited to welcome you. The play is called Last Out, and you will be performing it September 22nd and 23rd at Skylight Music Theater.
Actually, and Colonel Mann, I do want to know, having been in combat, you've been in combat, which is scarier, combat or opening night of a play when you're going to be the actor?
They each have their own degree of fear, and obviously combat has a level of fear that is impossible to describe unless you've lived it. But you know what? So does acting.
Okay. Okay. See, now I feel better about myself and my choices in life.
Well, thank you.
I may add, however,
sure.
Sorry. All proceeds from the performance go back to the Gary Sinise Foundation, by the way.
That is just wonderful. Thanks to each of you. Michael Unger, Skylight's artistic director, for making this possible and making that connection happen with your relationship with Gary Sinise. And Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann, thank you for your service and for bringing this production to life. We really look forward to seeing you September 22nd and 23rd at Skylight Music Theater for this very special Veterans Benefit.
It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Let's kick it off.
Michael.
Time now for news about your money and your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 37 to 32,394. S&P 500 also down 6 to 3971. And the NASDAQ also down 52 to 11,716. This market update.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carjackings, theft, shootings. Crime in Milwaukee is soaring. Criminals are being put back on the streets by liberal judges like Janet Protasewicz, who care more about woke politics than law and order. Too often, liberal judge Janet Protasewicz has refused to put convicted felons behind bars, only for them to re-offend. And Judge Janet says she has no regrets, while our communities suffer consequences. There's only one candidate in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race that puts the law before politics and victims over criminals. That's constitutional conservative Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly is endorsed by law enforcement and can be trusted to restore law and order. We can't afford to let woke liberal judge Janet Protasewicz on our highest court. It's time to take back our streets, restore law and order, and vote conservative Dan Kelly for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Fair Courts America paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee. faircourtsamerica.org.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you, who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Traffic sponsored by Weniger Compressor, the Midwest air compressor experts. Visit pressureisoff.biz.
Servicing world-class Wisconsin manufacturers for 9 decades. Contact Weniger Compressor at pressureisoff.biz.
Weniger Compressor.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:32. I'm Sandy Max. Your top story, we're learning more about the police response to the Nashville school shooting.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. New details on a Milwaukee apartment evacuation.
And I'm Bob Brainerd. The Brewers packing up the bats for Chicago.
I'm Mike Spalding. We are still dealing with some very extensive delays heading southbound on 4145. This due to a disabled vehicle right just south of North Avenue. It does have the right lane blocked. Right now between Highway Q and the Zoo, it is a 35-minute ride. That is a slowdown right now of 20 minutes. Southbound 43 Brown Deer Road to downtown as expected. That's slow as well, making your way to the Marquette interchange. It is a 20-minute commute, a slowdown there of 8. Southbound on 94 from downtown to Layton Avenue. That is a 12-minute ride, a slowdown of 5. and it's mostly affected on the back end of those Marquette interchange backups, while 94 westbound from downtown to Highway 16, that is a 21-minute ride, a slowdown there of about 5 minutes. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on WTMJ.
And your WTMJ weather forecast: increasing clouds tonight, low 27, and tomorrow expect some morning snow during your commute. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, breezy, high 36. Right now, 44 degrees in Milwaukee at 5:33. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Nashville police officers who responded to Monday's school shooting in Nashville are hearing high praise for their handling of the situation.
Small bathroom. Clear. Police body-worn camera shows a disciplined and quick search of the first floor of the Covenant School. The officers follow the sound of gunfire upstairs, confront Audrey Hale standing near a large arched window, and open fire. Hale drops to the floor as officers close in. It was 14 minutes from the first shots until the last. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Nashville.
Residents remain evacuated from the community within the Corridor apartment building due to high levels of a dangerous chemical. They were getting an update from state and local officials this afternoon on that story, and it is DNR Director for the Remediation and Redevelopment Program, Christine Seeger. She says the state was missing key information.
DNR was not aware that the building had been occupied for several months until after repeated requests made for this information. The consultant confirmed occupants were in the building on the evening of March 22nd. The DNR has not had to work with this kind of situation previously, and that our recommendations are typically implemented by the party responsible for the contamination.
All 150 residents have been moved to temporary housing.
Brewing up something new at American Family Field.
New AmFam exclusive beers, a fresh menu, and a forested lakefront theme welcomes you into the new Leinenkugel Barrel Yard restaurant.
We at the Brewers think we know many things, but we don't know how to brew beer.
President of Business Operations, Rick Schlesinger, says this is a big move for the Brew Crew.
So this is a restaurant designed for fans in mind, but also when we don't have games here, but we're going to be offering a restaurant for 365 days a year.
The Barrel Yard opens up on April 3rd alongside the Brewers' home opener. Finn Askin, WTMJ News.
The Packers GM has thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. Bob Brainerd has more in sports coming up next.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:35.
Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, where the Spring Forward sales event is your ticket to smile and save. Drive inspired this spring and beyond while you get more Mazda for your money and more for your trade on the new or Mazda-certified pre-owned car or crossover that's right for you. Find yours from their rapidly expanding selection. New available Mazda models are arriving daily. Get in on the enticing offers, then relax and enjoy Team Holiday's warm and genuine guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State, and I'm one of them. I know from my own personal experience that you'll be in great hands when you drive Holiday. Proud and grateful to be Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer and its #1 Mazda certified pre-owned dealer. Accolades are per Mazda North American Operations Performance and Zone Sales Records for 2022. Discover the difference for yourself during the Spring Forward sales event at Holiday Mazda, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
News is sponsored by Holiday Automotive at Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it is worth the trip.
Is community safety important to you? Then there's only one choice for Supreme Court, Judge Janet Protasewicz. For 25 years, Janet Protasewicz worked as a prosecutor, fighting for victims of crime and locking up dangerous criminals to keep us safe. That's a real difference between her and extremist Dan Kelly. Did you know Dan Kelly got rich defending the scum of the earth? As a lawyer, Dan Kelly defended child sex predators who posed as ministers in order to prey on vulnerable young girls. Kelly's clients lured young children to locations they believed to be safe, only to sexually assault and molest them. We all have choices in life, and Dan Kelly chose to defend those monsters. How would you feel if that were your kid or a member of your family? Do you really want a radical like Dan Kelly on the Supreme Court? He's an elite extremist who just doesn't care about us.
Paid for by Janet for Justice.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
The Brewers putting a nail in the Cactus League Coffin playing this afternoon against Colorado, and they were a winner. Final 8-1 Milwaukee over the Rockies. The opening day roster looks to be set, and rookie Bryce Terang is just bubbling with joy over getting himself to the show to join Milwaukee.
Your whole life, that's your goal, and so that's all you look forward to. Of course you look at it and you try to, what is it like, what is it going to be like, all that stuff, but now I got the news and it's going to be reality of it, and it's time to keep going, and it's baseball, so keep playing hard and control what I can control.
The Bucks maintain a 2-game lead in the East after knocking off the Pistons last night. Giannis and Drew Holiday, they sat that one out. But Chris Middleton to the rescue, pumping in a game-high 34. His teammate, Bobby Portis, he says cash is back.
The highs and lows that come with coming back from injury is not going to be the same right away. It's going to be some stinker days where you're like, damn, I should have made this and made that, or it just ain't happen. But with us, we kind of let him gradually grow throughout the season, and I think that's going to propel us going forward.
And the Badger season continues with an NIT semifinal tilt in Vegas at 6 p.m. against North Texas. Tyler Wall, thrilled with the extra reps and extra games.
I look at it as a great opportunity. Everyone must be playing at the end of March, and we have the opportunity to go out there. We're still playing great teams. If the last 4 or 8 teams that are playing, you got to win a lot of games to get to it. And so I feel like the competition's good.
And the Aaron Rodgers soap opera continues, and like a real daytime drama, could this actually end with number 12 returning to Titletown?
We're very hopeful that we can facilitate this and get this accomplished. But, he's come back under certain circumstances before where he maybe wasn't the happiest with everything that was going on and played very well. So, we'll just kind of see how all this transpires. And I think it's trending hopefully in the right direction for what everybody wants.
That's General Manager Brian Gutekunst. Yes, hopefully trending in the direction that everybody wants is the key there. But before that, he did say he has come back under bad circumstances. I said this earlier to both of you. Technically, he's still a Green Bay Packer. He's under contract with the Green Bay Packers. He could still end up being a Green Bay Packer.
You just want to rub it in his face, I think. You want him to feel some pain. That's what I'm getting.
Just so I have meat for my sportscast every day, yes. Have him come back to Titletown just so we can go over this every single day.
Yeah, it remains a marriage. They're still married, but there's separation of some sort, so we'll see how it all ends.
Stay together for the kids.
We're going to check in with Storm Team 4 meteorologist Kristen Kershane and get the latest update on what kind of snow we'll get tomorrow morning and what Chicago will be like on Thursday for the Brewers opener. She's next on WTMJ.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Wisconsin's afternoon news. WTMJ, I'm Sandy Max. Andrew Varela, guest host for John Mercure today. Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik on sports. And right now we check in with Storm Team 4 meteorologist Kristen Kershane. We have some important questions for you. How you doing?
Okay, I'm good. Hopefully I have answers to those important questions.
I know that you do. First of all, I'm hearing, according to the TMJ4 forecast, that there might be snow tomorrow morning.
Oh, there is, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes.
How much?
That's a yes.
Yeah, those are the next questions.
Okay.
Oh, yay.
Okay, good.
It's not a lot.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's not a lot of snow. The timing is not good. It comes during the morning commute. I would say from 4 a.m. to 9, 10 a.m. when we're going to watch some snow drop from north to south with a cold front that moves through. So even though it's not a lot of snow, I want people to know that it's going to come during that morning commute time and may slow things down for the commute. So you might need a few extra minutes for the ride to work, but it's an inch or less of total snow.
Not necessarily needing to shovel. Yeah.
You're not going to have to shovel, but it doesn't take a lot to cause some problems on the roads. And it's also going to be very cold tomorrow. It's going to feel very winter-like in the morning. Wind chills will be in the teens. And in the afternoon, wind chills will only be in the 20s. And so you're still going to want the warm jacket. Pretty winter-like day. But the snow moves through in the morning, and then it moves out really quickly, and we will transition back to sunshine Wednesday afternoon. So it'll look nice.
Okay.
Later in the
That's
day.
helpful.
Of more importance, Kristen, opening day, Wrigley Field, Brewers, Cubs, Thursday afternoon. Will they get it in, or is it going to be yucky?
No, I think it'll be fine. They don't have a roof or anything.
They do
right?
not.
You're
It's
just,
Wrigley
out
Field.
there.
Nope.
You're just out there.
Yeah.
Just out there.
So I think in Chicago, temperatures will probably be in the 40s on Thursday. There's a slight chance for some showers. What time is the game?
1:20. First
1:20.
pitch. Yeah.
I think it's fine. There's a pretty slim chance that there's maybe some afternoon showers, but anything would probably be pretty light and not a big deal. But dress warm. It's not going to be that warm.
Thank you, Kristen. You want to walk us through the next couple of days now that we know it'll be a little bit of snow tomorrow and then sunshine, and then the next few days?
Yeah, so actually some really interesting weather over the next couple of days. Here on Thursday, temperatures in the 40s. Later in the afternoon into the evening, our next system is going to start to move in. As it moves in, we may see kind of a wintry mix initially, quickly changes over to rain showers as we get into Thursday evening. By late Thursday night, we may have enough instability that we get some rumbles of thunder. So you may hear that outside Thursday night. Then Friday, we've got on and off rain, temperatures warming into the 50s, maybe a few 60s, but that comes with the rain, and it also comes with a chance for thunderstorms and a conditional chance for maybe some strong storms on Friday. So we're going to be watching that pretty closely, and we'll continue to update you as we head through the week. But we'll watch that for Friday afternoon into Friday night. Then a cold front comes through Friday night. We cool it back off, and we may change over to some snow as we kick off the weekend.
Because it's springtime in Wisconsin, Kristen. It's all right.
Yeah. Hey, what's life without a little variety, right?
You got it. Thank you very much, Kristen Kershane, Storm Team 4 meteorologist. And we will check in with some Milwaukee Bucks perspective. Tuesdays with Zora next on WTMJ.
You've got questions about your Milwaukee Bucks, and we've got answers. Go behind the curtain with the Athletics' Eric Name.
Teams know, like, hey, you're on national TV. Let's not put up five bench guys.
Is that the
And
dude?
Bucks play-by-play voice, David Kane.
This is not me complaining about being in Miami right now here in the middle of January, but we could have done with maybe a night game. That wouldn't have been the worst thing.
It's Bucks Insiders, Thursday afternoons at 5:45 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, we all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
On April 4th, your vote is critical to getting Wisconsin back on track. Hi, I'm Dan Knoll, and I'm asking for your vote to be your next state senator. I started my first small business in Menominee Falls when I was 17 years old, and that experience taught me about hard work and the value of a dollar. Simply put, that's the mindset I'm bringing to Madison to fight for you. Join me to keep our community safe, invest in our local roads and bridges, and get Wisconsin back on track. Vote for me, Dan Knodel, in the special election for State Senate on April 4th. Visit danknodal.org to learn more. Paid for by Knodal for Senate.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly.